Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome to our 2020 NFL Draft stream. I am super excited to hang out. I've got my boys with me. I got Marky. How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent, Landon. This is a prime hour, and I'm glad to be part of it, the hosting duties with you.
Absolutely, Scotty. What's good, homie?
Oh man, I haven't had real sports that mattered in so long. I could not be more excited for something relevant to be happening on a classic Thursday night.
Yes, sir. And then we got Mackenzie leading the way in the back end.
Yay, what's going on, fellas? This is certainly a different spot for me being behind the scenes, but I'll be orchestrating the graphics and popping in from time to time. So, Lando, thanks for hosting. It's nice to see you at the forefront here.
You got her. I got my nice jacket on. I'm excited
Looking
to go.
spiffy.
I've got a nice energy drink going on the
Hey,
side.
quick question, though. What's the underside look like?
You don't want to know. I got
you
some nice gym shorts going. I might reveal later if we get
You got some
like
Fila's,
Yeah.
Landon, some Sport Tech. What are we working with?
Under Armour gray shorts. Yep.
I guess we can kick things off here. Just some stats. Joe Burrow right now is a 93% favorite as a poll on NFL.com. 4% chance for Chase Young and 3% for Justin Herbert. There's also some rumors that the Falcons might fly up to the top 5 picks and make a splash. Maybe you guys can talk about who they could be targeting if that's the truth.
I actually wasn't paying attention to you, Mackenzie.
A solid burn to get started.
We got 9 people watching, 10 people right now. I love it.
Hey,
Eric's
everybody.
in there. Maddie's in there. Oh, the Falcons. That's interesting. Probably, maybe an Isaiah Simmons. I could see them going after. I could see them going after an offensive tackle, like a Jedrick Wills.
A lot of holes on that team, really. It's like
that's
really many ways they could go wrong.
Yeah. They're not going to go up after wide receiver. I would doubt that they're going to go after like a Tua. So I'm thinking definitely Isaiah Simmons, or it could be like a Derek Brown. I could see them go after. I think they could really use a guy like that. I saw before it started that the Bengals have gotten inquiries to get up to that number 1 spot. They are staying still. Same with the Washington Redskins. They have their guy, likely Chase Young, as their guy, and they're going to keep that pick. So first 2 spots, probably Burrow and Chase Young. It's kind of going to be a crapshoot. I think there's going to be tons of trades. They'll really put you to work, Mackenzie, on your skills on editing our little draft board. How you guys? For all you guys watching, what do you think of Mackenzie's handiwork there? The NFL Draft 2020. We got the Bengals on the clock. I think you did a dang good job, Mack. In the comments for everyone watching, what do you think is going to be a surprise top 10 pick? Let's go skill position. Do you think one of these guys, maybe a wide receiver, are going to go in and shock everyone?
I'm going to jump in here, Lando. Thanks, first of all. It's a lot of handiwork, but we're trying. I'm going to say that the Detroit Lions or the Giants, I was leaning Lions, but I do really think that they need to replace Darius Slay, and maybe when that time comes, we can talk about Jeff Okudah. But I could see the Giants or the Lions trading away their pick to a potential trade partner. Earlier, I said that maybe, I don't know, there's a bunch of teams. Maybe the Chargers or the Dolphins fly up to 3 and they get Tua or Herbert. Going super spicy, what if the Patriots flew up from the 20s to the top 5 and grabbed Tua? Talk about that.
That would be a classic Belichick maneuver. Absolutely. I could see them do it, and it would be the steal of the draft. All of a sudden, Tua would be like the number 1 prospect. Burrow would be left in the past. I think it would be like, hey, what did Belichick see that everyone else didn't? Why is Burrow the number 1 overall, and then Belichick goes in there? So I could totally see that happening, Mackenzie. There's definitely rumors about that going around. So now there is rumors about Tua falling in this draft. Do you think that will be the case? Like, or do you think he's going to go in there and be a high pick to the Chargers or the Dolphins? Anybody? Mark, how about you?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad to take this one. Tua is a great product, but I do think there's a chance of him sliding before these other big name quarterbacks here. And I think personally that the Dolphins have set themselves up to grab him. I don't know. I think the injury history kind of plagues his name a little bit right now, but maybe that's also part of the allure for a team like the Patriots. Although I know the Patriots aren't necessarily panicking at the quarterback position, but that may also just be kind of one of those coach speak moments. I think he's a great talent no matter what. Tua is going to be an exciting player in the NFL. I think there's a chance he goes late round, though. Late first, I'm thinking.
I want to shout out Ryan Tams coming in the chat. Appreciate that, Ryan. My mother, Kelly. Ryan. Kelly, what's up? I appreciate you coming in. I expect all of my friends, if you're a true friend or family member, to join in this fun. It's no longer a mock draft. That's the thing. This is the real thing. Any predictions, Mark, on how this is going to go? Is it going to be smooth? Is it going to be a marathon? Are we looking at a 4 or 5 hour live stream here?
I think there's going to be like some kind of laughable error in the first 20 minutes. What are you guys saying on that? Like a real early kind of screw
are you
up.
talking specifically about Bill O'Brien in the first 20 minets or what?
Yeah, they don't have a pick, right? So we should.
They don't yet.
Maybe Gettleman with the Giants.
No, I'm thinking technical difficulties is what I'm thinking, and then this is going to get put off until tomorrow. Draft day is going to. We'll see Burrow go. We'll see Young go, and then the quote unquote crapshoot, as you call it. We'll have to wait.
No, I'm expecting a lot of trades coming up, and I do think that will delay things. But at the same time, I think that obviously they've planned for that. But Landon and I have talked this one to death. I think this is a first time for everybody involved, and some GMs are going to be adapting to the kind of the technological aspect of this draft a lot faster than maybe some that are more seasoned and entrenched in their ways. So if they can't really judge players over Zoom, then they might not be as willing to kind of burn all their the draft capital on somebody that they're not fully sold on. So we could be seeing a lot of trades if they're just not that confident.
We had a question in the YouTube. Scotty, this is your job. Come on, get on it, pal. That if the Vince pass on Tua, how far do you think he will fall? That's a really good question. We had Mackenzie pipe in about maybe having the Patriots climb up and get him. The Jaguars would be an interesting candidate. They have their 6th round Gardner Minshew starting at quarterback, and it would be quite a Jaguars thing to do to try to ride out their quarterback for longer than they should. So if that indeed it's not the Jaguars, holy man, I think it could be. I don't think the Bucs aren't ready to take a quarterback right now. The Dolphins' second pick via the Steelers, I think, is the farthest he could possibly. Other than that, I think the Raiders. If I see him falling, the Raiders are a candidate to jump up and take him. So thanks for that question.
Shout out to Alexander Smith, aka Big Degs, my guy. I'm wishing I could join you for some golf pretty soon. You've been coming out hot with your takes and your gumption. I know you're trying to get in this listener league this year with us, and yeah, thanks for showing up as promised.
Easy's also made comment that he seems to believe that this might turn into a bigger debacle than the Raptors championship parade route. So pretty colorful take for anyone who watched the marathon of floats moving at 1 inch per twins.
Now, I told my partner to watch this stream. Do you think if I order a beer over the live stream, it should arrive in the next 5 minutes? That's my question. Maybe not. All right, guys. We're still. Sounds
Hello.
good. Let's. Oh, a moment of silence. So there's a draft-a-thon that will donate to the COVID fund. Obviously, everyone watching, there's 20 people watching right now. I really appreciate everyone coming in. Friends, family, some of the guys that are in our fantasy leagues. We appreciate you hanging out. This thing's all about just hanging out, talking about your teams, talking trash. Yeah, I mean, we can't actually hang out together watching this draft, so this is our next best thing. Mackenzie, myself, Scott, and Mark work really hard on this thing, and we do it for you guys. We do it because we love it, and hopefully you enjoy the show tonight, and we can react to these picks live. Yeah, COVID's a serious thing. Stay home, stay safe, everyone. We appreciate everyone still hanging in here. It's although this is tough for everyone, staying home all the time. We're lucky to have this draft here that really kind of gives us something to do, something to talk about. Excited for the NFL season. And hopefully it happens. But as of right now, it should. So cross our fingers, and hopefully your teams don't pull the Dolphins and mess this thing up.
This fantasy season could be a Madden simulation, though, and I wouldn't even hate that.
No, well put, Landon. It's I'm glad we all got together here, and whoever joins tonight, I'm excited to see, because you get to have a party with everybody all over the world. I'd just like to flag that Mr. Brendan Willis has just joined the party. Impact Sports Training TV. Tonight is going to be a wild party. If Willis is joining the party, then we're in for some very, very top quality fun.
What up, Scotty, Willis? You've been sending me messages today, and I'm loving your takes so far. I don't know what team you're going for these days. I know you're living in Minnesota, so I imagine it's Vikings. You guys got a good spot right here. A couple good spots in the draft today.
Scotty, once you're on there, make sure you subscribe to Willis. And if you're watching, all 17 of you, make sure you hit a like, subscribe button. We really appreciate it. It makes a big difference for us. We finally hit 100 subscriptions. Not much, but it's a start. We're grinding here. We're having some fun. It's a milestone for us. And we finally got a custom URL. So, hey, that's all we go for.
Very fancy.
So throw us a like, hit a subscribe. You know the drill, people. And 20 viewers, 7 likes. Let's get it here, guys. Pour yourselves a drink. Let's have a good time here. What's Joe Burrow?
So Brendan was wondering who we think the Vikes are going to take in the first round, Landon.
Oh, good. So I think they could. I'm hoping they take a wide receiver. I hope Justin Jefferson is there for them from LSU. I think that would be a great pick for them and that team. Otherwise, they'll go cornerback. They could definitely use a cornerback. It'd be pretty funny if they actually drafted Trevon Diggs, Diggs' brother from Alabama. Safety Xavier McKinney. They could do that. They do have a starter safety, but I think it'd be a good idea to bring a guy. Xavier McKinney is a guy that can do it all. He's a good do it all safety. Oh, really? So I'm just hearing they're booing Goodell artificially. I think that's amazing.
Gotta love that authenticity. Gotta love that commitment to realism.
Absolutely.
Now it feels like the draft.
Appreciate the love, Willis. I'm glad you came in.
Yeah, actually, speaking of the Minnesota-bound football fans, I've talked to some big Vikings fans in my day, but my boy also Joe Crane, if you're still watching, you were saying that the Vikings are going to go wide receiver, cornerback, and I know you're a huge Vikings fan. That's actually a nice take. I wouldn't mind that myself. But if they went wide receiver in the first, and I'm going to ask this to you, Lando, who do you not want to see a Viking?
I do not want T. Higgins to go there. I'm not a big Ayuk fan as well. So I'm good with Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson, any of the top three, but those guys are going to be gone. Denzel Mims, I would also settle for as well. So I think we could get one of those guys. Yeah, should be that will be interesting to see. I'm not a huge. I'm not a big Ayuk fan, and not a big Laviska Shenault guy either. But I think, yeah.
Can we chat real quick, though, about how a team can be, quote-unquote, on the clock for several months, and then they need another 10 minutes once the draft has been open to submit the pick? I just think it's a little ridiculous. Like, let's open this thing up with the pick.
Happens every year. It's going to be 8:12 right now. This pick should have been in 8 o'clock. It's no secret.
Bengals are officially on the clock. The draft has started. They've done the national anthem as well as artificially booed Roger Goodell. So it's just a waiting game here. Hopefully they have a pretty snappy pick, but officially have 9 minutes remaining.
I am really intrigued to see what type of delays come up, just because this is so unprecedented. It's really interesting to hear. So,
how many more monologues about COVID relief are we going to hear?
I'm going to take the over of 50.
Oh, man. I thought it was funny when we saw everyone's living rooms for a brief second there. It's going to be funny to see inside everyone's houses. It's going to be kind of awkward. How many hats do you think some of these players have sitting behind the camera?
They showed that actually when they were showing some of the top prospects' living rooms. All 32 hats sent to every. You and I were betting about this. They actually sent every hat to every prospect tonight.
Amazing.
So they have them on their front coffee table. Every single hat.
I'm more concerned about those dated curtains in the Burrow household. Good God. Just dreadful.
He tweeted about having long hair, so I'm excited to see
he apologized.
He's looking.
He's a haircut.
Yeah, I think we all do. Well, thanks. 22 watching. Appreciate everyone. You guys are awesome. Throw us a like if you're in here really quick, even if you just came in to say hi, what's up, ask us a question, send a subscription. It's free to do it. We love it. I can't say thank you enough, but I think I would love to get this thing going here. Marky. Redskins, Bengals should have their picks in. Do you think the Lions trade their pick?
I mean, ultimately, if they do, is there a chance that Okudah slides, or do you think I mean, it's kind of funny. Like I was listening to some analysis saying like a team that gets rid of Darius Slay and immediately picks up Jeff Okudah with the number 3 pick is like, you're not making yourself that much better of a football team. It kind of just makes you the same football team as you were before. So I'd be interesting to see if they were to pass up on him because they're just
saving money at this point, right? They don't have to pay him, and they get a young guy for a little while. You're right. It's interesting. So I think they do trade out of it. I think we'll see the Dolphins or Chargers jump in there.
So we're getting a question from Impact Sports Training TV. He's wondering, is Burrow legit?
Yeah. Mac, what do you think about this question?
Yeah, I mean, is Joe Burrow legit? 100%. I don't know if you guys watched him in college last year, but 60 touchdown passes. I mean, that is just outrageous. I understand like they played a little bit lower level competition compared to other conferences. He had some weapons, like Justin Jefferson was his primary target, but like this dude is legit, man. 60 touchdowns, and it's not official yet. He hasn't gone to the Bengals, but like the Bengals, just talking about Joe Burrow going there, they need to get this pick right, because in the last 15, 20 years, they've taken a quarterback in the first round 3 times and just haven't got it right. I mean, Carson Palmer was their best in the early 2000s, and he had a losing record. Actually, every single quarterback that the Bengals have drafted in the first round, that's 6 total since the inception of the league, they all have losing records. So I think they can get it right with this kid. I really, really do. He's something special, really, really solid player, and just lit the world on fire in college football last year.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I think that's good analysis, Mackenzie. I think Willis does watch college football, and it's he did come a little bit out of nowhere, but that was a historic offense. I think he is the NFL-ready quarterback without that injury history that Tua has. It's been a tanking for Tua for what feels like 2-3 years now since he took over from Jalen Hurts in Alabama. So yeah, I think he will be good for the Bengals. They do need a lot more than a quarterback. He is. We see him on the screen here now with his family. It's nice that they're doing some social distancing. There's not 7 other people there with him, so that'll be exciting. Yeah, we've got some good questions. If Alexander's asking if he thinks the Giants are going to trade out of their first pick, that is not a Gettleman move to do. They haven't done that in several years. I do think they should do that because I think there's, as long as they don't trade too far back, they're going to get a stout offensive tackle. There's about 3 to 5 really good ones. Although my favorite is Jedrick Wills. I mean, Tristan Wirfs is a popular pick as well. So if they don't, Mekhi Becton is a super athletic guy. We saw him do stuff at the combine that hasn't been done by a guy that size before. So it'll be interesting to see. Either any one of those guys is going to help. Their stud, Daniel Jones, obviously their huge pick was Saquon Barkley, and that'll be one of those things that they will they're going to want. Yeah, they're going to have to. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think it's always smart to trade back, especially if you're not getting a tier down if you're going to take an offensive tackle. So I think that's a good call by Alexander. And yeah, with AJ Green there, and hopefully he'll sign his franchise tag. Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd. I think there's lots of weapons for Joe Burrow to come in there and produce early and often. It'll be interesting to see if Tua goes to the Chargers early, who would be the first pick in fantasy drafts in like a super flex rookie pick. Because Tua would have some stud guys like Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, Mike Williams. And if he's healthy and he's running around, it would be a tough decision between the two guys. What do you guys think about that? Would you still take Burrow if between those two quarterbacks? Even odds. Scotty, you were thinking about taking Burrow with your first overall pick. Would you prefer Tua with the Chargers or Burrow with the Bengals?
Oh, God, that's tough. There are some decent weapons with the Chargers, but I think I'd still have to go Burrow. Like you said, as long as AJ Green is healthy, if I'm going to pick one of those two receiving cores, I think I'd have to go in on Tua or Burrows. Mark?
Burrow?
I'm the other way, I think, just because I love Keenan Allen and Mike Williams as route runners, and that's going to be a pretty legit offense. And I think Tua kind of brings a certain flair to the table. Burrow is going to have a great career in the NFL, but I think it's going to take a bit longer. And I think there is the also kind of the benefit of, I think there's less injury risk with Burrow. Tua, on the other hand, is going to be a dice roll, but he'll those additional fantasy points, those game-breaking rush yards and rush touchdowns that I think Burrow doesn't quite bring to the table.
Yeah, for me as well. I would look Tua. I know that his health is potentially a risk. We haven't been able to get that medical grade for any player, so I know that is a risk. But like the other thing that we're not taking into account here is team success, and like the LA Chargers have one of the best defenses in football. And so when you look, he gets to come in where on the other side of the ball, they might not be as reliant on him to keep up offensively. Plus, you've got Austin Eckler, a really proficient pass-catching back that would be a really nice fail-safe weapon for him. So, yeah, like you take those weapons to account that Mark highlighted, as well as Austin Eckler in the defensive side of the ball. I think Tua in LA, it makes just a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it's going to be a great debate to have this offseason. Willis is also asking us about Justin Herbert, and see what we think on him. So far, Mackenzie and myself, I think, are on the same page, and we're not a big Herbert fan. He checks a lot of boxes. He's big and tall, and for those old school coaches, they really like that guy. They like the leadership. They like the stature. They'll ignore the tendencies to be inaccurate. They think they can teach him to do that. We've seen that with Mitch Trubisky in the past. But he is an athletic quarterback, and he has shown that he's somewhat of a good leader and is willing to learn. I'm not the biggest fan of him. If he lands with the Chargers or Dolphins, it's not like he's going to be fantasy relevant for me. And I don't think it's a great pick for them. But I think there's a lot of teams that are very much enamored with Herbert. Marky, what do you think about Herbert?
It depends where he ends up. I think you'd be foolish to look at his combine day and think it wasn't a solid prospect. Love his arm strength. He's actually fast as hell too for someone who kind of has a more of like a pocket frame. Yeah, I think I like him going to the Chargers. Don't really see him as much on the Dolphins, but I think there's, he's maybe not the generational talent that we're seeing in Joe Burrow or even Tua, but yeah, low key, I think Justin Herbert's going to have a, pretty close to NFL ready stature.
I think that's what they're saying. He's very much NFL ready. I disagree. I think he would need some time to learn. But I guess we'll see how NFL's. I mean, they're smarter than us, you would think, sometimes on taking these quarterbacks.
No, they aren't. Never concede to that, especially on live.
Booger is on the stream. I didn't hear what he was saying, but hopefully he's.
Easy's always on the ball, already calling out that the Booger McFarland memes are going to be on point all over social media. I'm waiting for the first one.
That's amazing.
Pick is in.
The pick is in. All right. Burrow's doing a speech and they have the pick. Alex, you have a great question. I'm interested still with pre-combine rankings. I have CeeDee Lamb as my favorite wide receiver. Between him and Jerry Jeudy, it's going to very much determine on landing spot. I'm a little bit worried with Jerry Jeudy, his size and stature. Videos I've seen him cut, he puts so much pressure on his tendons in his legs and his knees. So I could see ACL problems maybe happen for him. He has stayed healthy, so that's just a while. Like, I'm no doctor. I just play one on TV. But Jerry Jeudy,
classic. He's
very talented, good slot receiver. I think CD does it all. I've heard like Alabama, being an Alabama wide receiver, it's amazing to do it. Like they could make me get drafted in the NFL. From what I've been told, like that they're very wide receiver friendly, where CeeDee Lamb had to deal with a little bit more inaccuracies. Yeah, the pick is in. Let's see what Goodell's saying. Joe Burrow. Worst kept secret in the NFL. Joe Burrow was picked. Very happy about that. Not a shocker. So Henry Ruggs, I think, is going to be a great wide receiver in the NFL. He's going to be a lot Deshaun Jackson type. I think he's going to be a little bit inconsistent in fantasy football. He's not a good one to rely on, but like a great best ball guy. He can put up 30 points for your fantasy team, but then put up a donut the next week kind of thing. He's a game breaker. In the NFL, in college, he didn't get a lot of work, but that's mostly because the stuff he did catch, he took to the house. So, I mean, you can't have multiple catches if you just run it to the end zone every time. I think we're probably seeing that on, I don't know, this is LSU. I do like him. His speed is going to be game breaking. You have to always stay honest with a guy like that. Everyone knows how fast he is. It's no secret. So people are going to game plan for him, which will open up receivers on the inside in the slot. So that's why I like Henry Ruggs for a team perspective, but less for fantasy. Justin Jefferson, I'm big into. I think he's a great slot receiver. I think he does it all. We could see he can take the volume. He's pretty much the opposite of Henry in the sense where he got so much volume, but he was on one of the best offenses in the league. Arguably one of the best wide receivers in college football is going to be in the draft next year, Jamar Chase. So Justin, although he caught a ton of touchdowns, a ton of receptions, he was kind of the wide receiver 2 in that offense, which is crazy to believe, right? People had to plan for Jamar Chase. So he's not like a stereotypical number 1 wide receiver, but he's a guy that I want for my team personally, and I think any team would be happy to draft him. Redskins are on the clock.
We've got the Redskins officially up on the clock, and shout out to Alexander Smith for pointing out that as far as a celebration for first overall pick in the NFL draft, that was a bit of a muted response. They were getting ready for what looked like a FaceTime or something, but compared to the big spectacle of the table round hugs, there we go. Now they're showing a nice little hug.
Yeah.
You're right, Scotty. I mean, if you go first overall, you gotta at least smile, right?
You're on Tiger Woods.
You're on national TV, young man.
Oh yeah. He knew. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a little bit anticlimactic, a hair. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. He knew it was going to happen. I wish for him. I know he's a good guy and going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. I wish he had fans and a stage and Vegas and a boat to go up on and have this big presentation. But either way, it's good. This is a life-changing event for him. Should be great. He gets to talk to Zach Taylor here, and he's a Bengal. He's not very far from there in Ohio. So Willis is actually ahead of us in picks.
The pick is in.
Appreciate the yeah, sounds good. So Willis, I'd love to connect with you on some analysis, and if you ever make it up to Thunder Bay, or if you want to maybe try and get in our listener league. We've got a couple spots open. I know another guy, Alexander, wants to be in as well. We had a lot of fun this year, and it'd be good to connect and make some trades and talk some football.
Also to collude with us.
Sorry, I say that again. I can't hear you guys. The pick is in. The Washington Redskins. The pick is in. So is it? This is going to be. I would say has to be Chase Young. Is anyone other? I mean, he's probably the best athlete, best prospect in this class. But obviously, the Bengals are not going to pick an edge rusher number 1 overall. The Browns made that mistake a few years back.
You know a little something about Chase and Young, Lando?
No idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. You see this face? I'm young. What do you mean? I'm a baby myself. Oh yeah, they're making Tiger King references on NFL Network.
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, he will be the Tiger King. Who will be his Carol Baskins?
So I wonder why we're getting a delay, because there are a few picks ahead in the States right now.
I blame Tia.
Scotty or Mack, I've tweeted out, can someone tag my fantasy league in a tweet to come join on socials or on Instagram or something? I'm on it.
Yep.
Sounds good. We got 23 people watching. Appreciate that, everyone watching. If you have a second, like this video. Hopefully it's going to be on for a long time. You can see our real reactions for months to come until we have the NFL season on for real. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, Burrow's the real deal here right now. Yeah, so we're expecting the Redskins to take Chase Young, and this offense is starting to get pretty elite here. We have Sweat, Kerrigan, that defensive coordinator there with the Redskins should be elite. Ron Rivera is a defensive coach by nature, and they're trying to build this team the right way. I think Rivera is going to be a great asset to that team, kind of bring them some stability. And there's been some notable Ohio State defensive ends coming out, like Nick and Joey Bosa, Cameron Hayward the past 10 years. But Chase Young is one of the best talents, even arguably better than Joey Bosa. So it should be interesting to see. So it should be a no-brainer for them. We see.
And too, Lando, you can see, to your point with the Bosas, like you can see what a difference, Nick Bosa made last year to the Niners, right? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. Should be.
Pick is in.
What do you think about Chase Young in this scenario? The pick is in for us here in Canada.
Yeah, they did. You betcha.
Excellent.
Now that
pick.
is a lockdown pick.
There he is. He's
guy is a monster. He should make. So far, this is it's a chalk start to the draft. I think odds were about 2,000, 20,000, 10,001 that this was going, or sorry, minus 10,000 for this to happen. No brainer. But I think this pick 3 is when the NFL draft starts. I think this is when things are going to get fun. This is going to get interesting. See if the Lions trade out of this pick. We could have practiced this intro, this 34 minutes a million times. It would have been the exact same scenario. This is a no-brainer for the Redskins. Hopefully he stays healthy. We really hope that this is a good pick for the Redskins. They need that in their division here. Like, they desperately need this pass rush, and now they've got a pretty good one here. You got to get after Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, and Dak Prescott. So the Redskins needed this pick. It didn't make sense for them to trade back and get a linebacker or get a corner or get an offensive tackle. This guy's a monster. I'm super psyched for the Redskins. Not at all a fan, but hey, any other commentary from the rest of the Snap crew?
No, I think it's a great start for their burgeoning defense here, and that is a great pick for them. But again, not one that was a surprise to any of us. It's just kind of par for the course here. We spent, this is 20 minutes. We could have started 20 minutes later and basically had all this data for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this is a no-brainer pick. The type of defensive talent you get with this guy, it's just there was no way they were going to be passing on him. And I remember the Redskins when their D was actually terrifying. And when you got a guy like Geis, that if he can stay healthy, if they could build if they can use this guy as a captain to really restart the D and just build a power offense with a solid D, the Redskins could be scary in the future. So I love this pick, and I'm happy they did not stray.
All right. Yeah, this is great. So the Lions are on the clock. Jeff Okudah is the best corner in the league, and they just lost Darius Slay. This is Obviously a no-brainer pick, but they have a lot more needs on that offense. They need to protect Matt Stafford. He got hurt last year and really cost them an opportunity. They started the year great. They could have easily been competitive with the Vikings and the Packers. But obviously having backups in does not help their case. Both wide receivers, Marvin Jones Jr. is still a stud. This guy doesn't go away. Kenny Golladay is a monster. He's a no-brainer number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. They had a stud tight end as well, and now they just need to get their defense. They have a tough division. They still have Aaron Rodgers. Old man Rodgers is still in this league. Maybe not for long, Mackenzie, but for now they need a young stud. Okudah is the best corner in the league, and so there's no trade yet. So the pick is in. You can bring it here. Drew's coming in to bring me some beer. Thanks, girl.
Hey, that's important. There you go.
Appreciate you.
Well, cheers to you, Landon, to you, Scott, Mackenzie, and to all the viewers out there. Thanks for sitting in with us. We're popping them open over here.
2020 season.
I appreciate everyone for coming in. So hopefully now that it's almost 20-9, we get more people that remember, oh yeah, there's an NFL draft to watch, and the Snap Boys are going live giving us reactions.
What you got there?
So I've got a blood orange sour beer from Ottawa.
Ooh.
Ottawa Valley, Ontario. But no free ads. So Mackenzie, what are you thinking? What are some prospects if they don't go cornerback and they don't trade back? Oh, here we go.
Pick is in.
The Lions select Okudah.
Okudah.
It is Okudah.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Ohio State cornerback. They don't trade back. That's crazy. I'm surprised that happened. This is so chalky for the first 3 picks. This is what everyone thought was going to happen.
I thought there was going to be a little more trades. I won't lie. I thought Detroit was a prime candidate.
They were, absolutely. They could have. So maybe these quarterbacks, the Herbert and Tua, maybe there's more red flags than we thought before. Like, some people aren't a big fan of Tua. Maybe his medicals scare people. And then Herbert, people don't like them like we do. So these Chargers and Dolphins, maybe they're not going to pick a quarterback at all, which is crazy to think at this point, because we thought at one point there's going to be 5 or 6 quarterbacks coming in this first round with Jordan Love and Hurts and guys like that. So should be interesting. Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't make a trade. I think the Lions wanted to, but it's tough to find a partner at this point in the draft, and I think they just didn't have anybody to dance with. And Okudah is a very, very good pick for them. He replaces Darius Slay Jr. and yeah, it's definitely a need that they get to address. Now, Giants, to me, the only pick here for the Giants that makes complete sense is Isaiah Simmons. They desperately need linebacker help, and he is far and above the best linebacker in this class, in my opinion. So if it's not Isaiah Simmons, I would like to see them trade away from this pick.
Interesting take. I had to take offensive tackle here and take Jedrick Wills, Alabama. I think they should take him, but they do need defensive help. Their defense was not good at all this past year, and I could see Isaiah Simmons is one of the best athletes in this class. It's just the linebacker position seems like a little bit of a devalued position in this league. So would be early for a linebacker, but yeah, I don't hate it. Anyone else? Do you think the Giants trade back if they could find a partner?
I feel like they're trying to do that right now. They're another one that just in this range, I feel like if you could get a little more ammunition for your pick and just slide back a bit, I guess only time will tell. But we all know that I thought there would be at least a decent amount of trades in the first round, because I thought that there would be GMs that just weren't able to at least commit to their first round pick if they could get a second and like say a fourth or something for the same capital. So we'll have to see, but he's looking pretty. We'll see. Yeah.
So we are 40 minutes in and 3 picks, and guys, we're in for a long haul here.
It's a slow burn.
It's always a slow burn. I mean, just because we're doing this digitally does not mean the NFL is gonna, cut through the drama. I was expecting a lot more video packs so far, actually.
I want to see more graphics of the fishing Joe Burrow. I want to see just some real sloppy CGIs of these young prospects here.
We did really just skip over that terrific graphic of him fishing off a boat. That was truly a testament to what NFL films can do.
Yeah, I agree with Willis in the chat. I think the Giants should trade back and take an offensive tackle. I think that'd be the smart move. We've seen Gettleman be reluctant to that in the past. It's nice to see some analytics kind of be pushed into that organization. I've been, low-key going for them since the Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley days. I mean, that's not that long ago. It's still current with Saquon, but I've always liked the talent on that team, and it's just, you want to see them eventually succeed, but now there probably won't be a running back going in the first round. Wasn't that long ago? Saquon, if Saquon was in this draft, in back of the first, all these running backs are getting devalued. The Giants should have just taken Darnold or an offensive tackle, defensive end, and built their team that way. You think Saquon's a top 5 pick, Mac?
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might not.
Let's not forget what Saquon Barkley was coming out of college. He was a generational talent. Just how we rave about Chase Young, Saquon Barkley, you seen what he was, but no one had a doubt with him coming into the league, and he lived up to that hype. Joe Burrow is kind of the same way, and Chase Young. There's no way that are you telling me the Lions right now, if Saquon Barkley was in this class, that they wouldn't have gone Barkley over Okudah? Because Kerryon Johnson's not really even healthy enough to stay on the field right now. I definitely think that's a need that they could address with a Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, maybe it's a debate on Twitter right now on what happens. Who are the best 2 running backs in the NFL? Top 3, Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, both
Zeke,
and Zeke. None of those teams made the playoffs. So what's
Fair
good
point.
of those? What's good for those teams? You can have the best, most talented running back, but that's not winning your football games.
So, Willis, the Giants should trade back and take an O-line, which,
That's what I said, yeah.
Definitely not a bad piece. He also wonders, who do we think Big Joe Michalek wants the Giants to pick, which is an important fact, I think, to know.
He was a slightly mediocre defensive tackle in his day, right? So
He got 3 sacks that one game.
We all remember that one.
Derek Brown might be a good piece out of Auburn. I think that would
Chase
be
on even. I think Joe Michalek would totally rave on the pass rush first rounder. I know he's he himself is an edge rusher or former edge rusher, and he's always had, I think, just a good scout's eye for what goes into a good football team, and I think he'd go edge for his team, the Giants.
He also had just terrific curls going, if I remember, when he was an edge rusher. So when he was chasing down the QB, the bouncing locks really made the whole look come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone's watching, check out us on social media. If you're on Twitter, we're at snap_fantasy. On Instagram, we are also snap_fantasy. We've got some good graphics. Mack is a great graphic designer, so we're always staying fresh with the graphics. And subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate you. Subscribe, all that. Again, Oh, Joe Michalik's in here.
Joseph Michalik
Yes.
is in the house, everybody. What
He
a
was.
gem.
I hope you got here in time for that rundown by Scott. You were 20
perfect.
in high school. 25%.
You're in trouble. We're
curls,
gonna get you now.
25% traps. Just
Any of the
balls.
tackles. Yeah, I agree, Matt. Joe, my least favorite is Becton as well. Obviously a stud athlete, but you're right. I prefer Jedrick Wills out of anyone. Tristan Wirfs is a popular one as well. Mac, did I remember all of the socials that they should plug? We're also on Sleeper. If you guys have Sleeper, we have a channel on there. We're always interacting on Sleeper. If you're a diehard fantasy player, you should have the app already. Really good for notifications.
And the pick is in for the Giants.
Where's Coleman? Where's Coleman right now? He should be in.
Oh, geez. We got to get the whole crew going.
He's the biggest football fan I know.
The spin. I remember the spin.
He did it.
What
that
a
was
tight
that was
end.
a basketball move originally.
What a tight end.
Yeah.
Let's see the pick here. Is Michalik going to be happy or distraught?
I'm flying in. So if I'm going to take a guess here and say that it is Jedrick Wills that gets picked.
Okay. All right.
Michalik thinks he could live with Simmons too.
Yeah, Simmons would be great. Linebacker out of Clemson. I think that's a great pick. It's very much a Gettleman.
Sorry, I should have specified, if not Simmons, because I still think Isaiah Simmons is the best pick for them. But if Gettleman's talking about going offensive line, I think Jedrick Wills, definitely the pick.
Yeah, totally. Cool.
Matt Wakefield is wondering who set the room up for Gettleman because there's no way he set it up himself. I wonder what the day rate for a PA is during the COVID crisis. You have to assume they get some hazard pay.
Andrew Thomas. Did not expect that to be the first tackle off the board. Hello.
Wow.
Getting some.
Andrew Thomas.
Guy has absolutely skyrocketed recently. And it's actually not crazy surprising that he went so early. I was hoping he was going to slide all the way to Tampa at the 14th.
Georgia tackle Andrew Thomas. That is very interesting. I'm not really
Joseph Michalik approved. Best possible outcome as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. There we go. So yeah, there we go. Joe Michalik. No trade yet. I know. He could that's the thing. This is such a Gettleman move. To pick a guy that he could get in the teens, keep the pick. I know, exactly. He took when he could have waited again. It's par for the course for the Giants. Yeah, they get a position they need. I get it. But obviously there wasn't a team trying to move up, or maybe they just didn't answer their phone like they have in previous years. They do get their pick. Hey, there you go. If Joe Michalik is happy, I'm happy. I trust his analysis.
To quote the great Joseph Michalik, way to go, gentlemen, not making a dumb pick for once. He's the most finished product as a pass blocker. At least that's what professional football fantasy says.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, if you're listening in the chat, Gettleman, I want to know what your thoughts leading into this draft. What did you think about Gettleman leading into this draft? Because you're the resident Giants analyst with us right now. Maybe even give us a 1 to 10 on your thoughts on that guy in previous drafting mentality.
So Alexander's asking you, Mark, who are you hoping falls to the Bucks then? Do you think Tristan Wirfs might do it then, or Jedrick Wills? That would be amazing. I think those guys are gone.
Well, I mean, athletically, I wouldn't hate Becton ending up at that spot. I think he's catching some flack right now. What did he get flagged on some kind of what's the hate spring from Mekhi Becton? Was he flagged on a drug test or something? Or
as far as I know, he's just a little unpolished. So I think he's not like an Andrew Thomas. He might be a little bit more unreliable. He moved up boards because of his athleticism mostly, rather than maybe his tape. Is kind of the
So who has the who has the Hall of Fame potential here, the Pro Bowl potential first? Who's it going to be, Thomas or Becton?
Andrew Thomas could, but I think Jedrick Wills is the Alabama stud. I mean, they have the best recruits, they have the best system to get the best athletes in the nation, and I think I'm not sure why he didn't go there, but I mean, obviously the Giants picked their man, so. And maybe this is an opportunity for the Bucks, Mark, to trade up and get a stud tackle if one of these guys aren't going to be there.
Yeah, I think ultimately I'm concerned about Tom Brady's protection from that blind side, and that's why I kind of just want the biggest guy possible. And I think, for some teams, Becton might just be a little too big at that spot, right? He's enormous. But I think with a big pocket quarterback like Tom Brady, I think he'd be an essential piece.
So for the Dolphins, this has to be a perfect scenario for them. They have their pick of the quarterbacks. They didn't have to move up, and they can pick their future in Tua Tagovailoa and build a team around him. They've got, I think, 5 or 6 picks in the first few rounds. Like, they are an absolute. They have so many picks. So I think this is their best spot. Do you any comments on that? Do they just take Tua and move on, or they take a tackle or something like that, or an Isaiah Simmons? They could use a linebacker.
Yeah, I was kind of talking about the principle of, when you release a player from your team and then draft for the same position the following year, it's not, I don't think it's saying much for your management. I don't think they would do something as foolish as punting Laramie Tunsil from their team only to redraft, another player at the position. I think the tanking for Tua is just too much of a narrative. I think it's on stone at this point. I want to see it happen, and I'm 90% sure it's going to.
I think that Tua is going here. Look, like, the narrative is perfect. I think that he's a guy that doesn't need to be rushed on the field. I know that we've heard that his medical status is of healthy status, but we don't have an official medical grade to assign to him, like I've said. I think he's a superior talent to Herbert and Love. I think he's the best player available right now. And for him to be able to come into this system, sit behind Fitzpatrick for a year, get healthy, figure out the game, get accustomed to the NFL level, I think this is a perfect fit for Tua Tagovailoa, and I would be ecstatic to see him go to the Dolphins.
Totally, I agree. What's up, Murray McGill? Appreciate you coming in. He's kind of yeah, absolutely. He's one of the best tight ends I ever threw to. But get Ryan in here and get him in the conversation. I don't know how big of a football fan he is, but I know he's a beauty.
So Murdog, wish I could see you, man. Wish I could have seen you this morning when I woke up for my work day. I miss you. And you know what? This football season, we better be working in the same school again, because, man, you had some takes coming up in my office before that morning bell.
Finn's pick is in.
Yep, I will definitely do that. I'm sharing the link right now. The Dolphins pick.
Willis is taking off. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Willis. Appreciate it.
Analysis.
Yeah. The Dolphins pick Tua.
They got him.
They got him.
Oh,
yeah.
Tua.
There we go.
That's amazing.
Hello, Devontae Parker.
Oh, man. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, Tua's unbelievable. And the Chargers did not get him. The Chargers could take, I guess, Herbert. That's unfortunate for that team and that organization. But Tua is an absolute. His medicals seem clean and they seem great. So that's one of those things that has been a big red flag for him in college.
Video of him. He was looking pretty. He was looking pretty good.
Hey, yeah. I mean, he would be the number 1 overall pick, at least in question, if that hip injury never happened. So it's one of those things that it's they get a value at that pick, and Miami finally has a good future. I wonder if our buddy in our Gridiron League is happy about that, Aaron. But I'm sure he is. Tua is a great guy. Now they need to build around him. They're a candidate to maybe sign Devonta Freeman potentially in the offseason, or to draft a round 2 running back to help bolster that team. And they could take Swift or Taylor at the end of this round. Absolutely, Mack. And they have 3 picks. This is the team. This is the time to draft, and for the Dolphins. And this is, so far, they're not messing it up. So I think arguably a lot of people had Tua still as the number 1 quarterback in this draft. So to value at 5 should be, 6 or no 5, yeah. And the LA Chargers are on the clock. Mark, do you think that they take Justin Herbert?
Interesting team. I was talking earlier of how I like seeing him here, and I think, I don't know, everything's been so chalk up to this point. It would be hard to see a curveball right now happening. I'm going to say, just like my gut went with Tua and basically every pick preceding him, I'm going to say Justin Herbert here, just like everyone was predicting. I don't want to deviate. What do you guys think?
I don't disagree. Mack and I were talking beforehand, and I was thinking that this could be the most unpredictable draft so far. And he's like, "Nah, I'm hearing the opposite. It's the most chalky draft. We know everything that's going to happen." And so far, he's absolutely right. There's no big trades to number 2 to draft Tua. There's no trading back. It's just every mock draft we've seen or watched or heard of has been right. It's been bang on right now.
Look, fellas, we're all golfers here. The worst thing you can do when you play a new course is try to get fancy. When the unknowns of what's in front of you is present, you need to just keep it in the fairway. And I feel like that's what a lot of these guys are going to need to do, is just keep it in play and not try to get fancy, not try to hit some cuts and some high draws. They got to just try to keep it straight, take out that 3-wood, get it in play, and going with guys that they know, and they don't need a pro day to really be sure of this guy. They're pretty sure what they got. I think those are the guys that you're going to see people go for, and maybe we will see limited trades. I don't know. Like Mark said, the first 5 picks here have been pretty chalk. Wouldn't be shocked to see Justin Herbert go here too.
Hot take from our boy Easy that Herbert will be better than Tua in the NFL. And now, if that's based on health, okay, maybe. But if they're both healthy, I think it's going to be – that's a difficult hot take to come to fruition. But, hey, you never know.
There's also an odd angle to this pick that just because of the nature of the way we're doing this draft, if there is any lingering health effects at all, and if there is a chance of any type of delay to the start of the 2020 regular season, I mean, if you're just going for talent – it's really hard to beat this guy. So we don't know if there's a chance that could be pushed a month or 2 or 3. So as a franchise, I think this is a great move, as Fitzmagic might not be the long-term answer.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things he can play to start the season. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now it's going to be who's going to start. How can we project their players? Do we project it as Fitzpatrick as a starter, or do we project it as Tua? Do we project 5 games for Fitz and the rest for Tua? Or does Tua, like Matt was saying in the comments here, is Tua going to start the season, then get hurt, and then it's going to be Fitzmagic season, and then all of a sudden Devontae Parker's back to being a stud? It's one of those things.
Well, you have to assume the medical staff's going to probably weigh in a very healthy amount on the approach they take with the new face of their franchise. For
sure, but assuming he's healthy to start the season, is he gonna and he will start the season. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, anyways, from Maddie there in the comments. Tyrod's in LA, right? So it'll be interesting to see now with LA. Is Tyrod going to be that starter to start the season, and then Herbert comes in if they take him, or do they just let it ride with Tyrod in LA and maybe tank for a quarterback next year? The pick is in no trades as of yet. We didn't really expect the Chargers to trade, but I do like their new uniforms. I expected them to trade up as well there.
Yeah, which one, Landon? They've got about 75 new unis.
No, I don't understand why they have so many. The Patriots released like 2, and the Chargers have 6, 7 variations of powder blue. But Mack, what do you think is going to happen here? We have a couple 30 seconds here probably for the Chargers to announce their decision.
It's got to be Justin Herbert, just based on what they need and who's available. I just feel like it makes the most sense for them. After this pick, I really think the draft starts. Like, it's going to be really unpredictable to see what the Panthers, the Cards, and the Jags do. I think it's going to be great from this point on.
Totally. This is what I'm excited for. Hopefully the skill position players we love start going off, like CD. Is it in? Did you see it? Justin Herbert, and you're about 10 seconds in front of me. This is very chalky. This is what we all expected. Yeah.
No chaos at all.
That guy. They're all wearing Bose headphones, eh? Those guys.
It's like it's a sponsorship deal.
So now.
All right. Well, the Chargers got him. That's so we've got Tyrod Taylor, we got Justin Herbert. What are we going to expect with this season? Kind of like a travesty, but they've got so many weapons, Mack.
So if you're drafting tomorrow, you're in a rookie draft. Okay, starting Monday. It's a super flex, meaning you can start 2 quarterbacks. Which rookie quarterback are you taking first off the board? Burrow, Tua, or Herbert? Mark, I'm looking at you.
Tua.
Taking Tua first overall. Mackenzie, what do you think? Or Scott?
Sorry, say
Scott,
that again, Landon.
Scott,
what was the question?
You're doing graphics.
No, go ahead.
Which quarterback are you taking first overall in a rookie draft between those 3 guys?
Do I have to pick a quarterback?
You have to pick. Herbert's arguably in the best spot. Tua is one of our favorites and most talented, but is on the Dolphins. And then Burrow, I mean, you want to say he has weapons as well.
Right.
Do you just go with Burrow, or do you prefer another guy?
No, I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to go with Tua. There's no part of me that thinks that the Bengals can ascend to anything decent. So yeah, I think I'm banking on the Dolphins addressing running back concerns, because I don't think that the core that they have there right now with Kalen Ballage and who else is there that just got traded. I don't know why it escapes me at the moment. I just don't think that.
Sorry, say.
For the Dolphins. I'm trying to put my mind on who's there now. He just got traded. Anyways, I'm gonna put in that Tua is gonna emerge, and I'm hoping that at the end of this first round that the Dolphins address running back concerns and go with either Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift. I think that would be a fantastic play.
Totally, Scotty. We have 2 votes for Tua as the number 1 quarterback.
You know what? The more I think about it, and maybe it's just friends who's a just insatiable Bengals fan, Matt Silva seems over the moon about their pick. I think I'm flipping. I think I'm going Tua.
Oh, you're going Tua.
I just saw him say I'm sold on Burrows, which makes me think if I said the same thing, I'm making a horrible mistake. So I think I'm going Tua.
Okay, the Panthers pick is in. My take here is I think they're going to go D-line. I think they're going Derek Brown here.
This is going awfully quick now. This is starting to pick up some pace.
Well,
so yeah, you know what? I don't mind the Derek Brown. I think it's going to be Isaiah Simmons. They've got a pretty good linebacking core, but that is something that they need, right? Or who just retired?
Kuechly retired. So that
retired.
Is there's no bigger hole that you could leave a team with than someone like Kuechly leaving.
Right. Who's the guy that they drafted last year that I really like? White kid, super fast. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I think Derek Brown's an absolute need for that team as well.
Burns, right? Was that Burns, the linebacker? Burns?
No, I can't remember. I can look it up.
But they did I'm sure it was like Burns, and he was great for them at linebacker.
Scott, any thoughts what the Panthers are going to do here? What are you thinking here? How's their interaction right now going on socials?
We're getting a lot of fun talk. Most
banter.
of Matt Wakefield had a great take on Herbert's family. Just
it's a family show.
Yeah, just like a real family that will provide you with cookies and perhaps cut you in the basement was his take.
Anyways, I'm gonna start flagging inappropriate comments, Matt. I'm looking at you.
I don't know if that exists anymore. This is a online draft. It is not navigated by the CRTC.
It's also very important to, for all those people watching out there, it's very important to sit up once in a while, get the blood flowing a little bit.
Get moving.
The screen time is actually really good when you've got us on your screen. So don't worry about that.
We want you to stick with us. And as we have passed the 1 hour mark of our stream here, and we are at pick number 7. So whoever took, how long is it going to be for the first round? Anyone who took, over 3 hours is looking pretty sweet right now. I do think it will speed up though.
I think so too.
Lots of good players left. Derek Brown. I feel he'd be a good fit for Carolina.
Yeah, you want that run stopper up the middle, Scotty. I mean, he can get off the quarterback
a good
as well.
Defensive tackle. If you can just anchor a defense with just a run stuffer, oh boy, everything flows from there. Getting pressure on the back. So we'll see.
One thing to note, I do really like the prospect of Derek Brown. He was ready for the draft last year, but did not declare for the draft, and had an absolutely monstrous 2019 season. I think he's a top 10 prospect. I'd be really shocked to see him fall any further than this, and I think he really does fill an immediate need for this team. I do think Isaiah Simmons would be a great pick too, but like Mark said, how are you going to put Isaiah Simmons in Kuechly's role right away? I just think that is so tough for an incoming rookie. But it'll be an interesting pick. I'm going to say Derek Brown is definitely the play.
Sounds good. Good.
Christian
good
McCaffrey
analysis.
just told us to be safe.
Yeah,
love that.
I wish he was better looking.
Yeah, he should really start taking care of himself, eh? He's a scrub.
16 mil a year contract or whatever you just signed.
Highest paid running back ever, I believe.
Absolutely.
But if you want to talk about a guy who earned every penny, it's that guy.
I thought you were going to say Rashad Penny.
That guy hasn't earned anything.
Michael Irvin with the trophies in the back. Matt Rule, Panthers head.
I love how you're seeing all these prestigious team owners and GMs just slumped in their chairs looking at a phone. Normally there's a little more pageantry and prestige. Yeah. Not today, folks. You're seeing them at their worst.
Yeah, Candy Crush scores are just going off the charts. Look at Matt Rule just going. Just
okay, here we go.
All right.
No,
still no trades, guys. Still no trades.
Carolina is an interesting team for this year, and that incredibly competitive NFC South. That NFC South is going to be a wood chipper.
Derek Brown, there it is.
Brown.
There you are.
Hey, we're doing some pretty good analysis here, fellas.
I love it. You know what? I really love it for Carolina.
Look at this, boys, knocking it out of the park.
Man,
who's this guy wearing a mask in the back? You're in a home.
This is behind the scenes Mack coming to you. Chat. Everybody in the chat here, let us know, what pick do you think will be the first trade? Where do you think it's going to happen? And who could it potentially be with? Let's get that discussion fired up, because we know it's coming, right?
We know it's coming. You're right. I think it'd be good for the Cardinals to maybe. Cardinals need an offensive lineman so bad, and they could have their pick at the top. They're not trading back. They're getting a tackle here, unless they maybe go with don't slip too far back and go with the Browns or Jets. That could be a possibility, but the Browns also need a tackle, so that's not a good call. So yeah, no, they're taking a tackle. They're not. So the first trade, Mackenzie, in my opinion, I know you asked the viewers here right now, people in the chat, all 18 of you watching, what up? We appreciate you. I think it could be maybe the Bronco. Oh man, holy cow! I've heard rumors about the Falcons. Falcons wanted to trade up, so they might do it. But where would they trade up to? Maybe the Raiders. The Raiders could use an extra first-round pick. Maybe, I don't know. This is hard. I don't know, Mackenzie. It could be It could be the Cowboys maybe moving back is maybe when I'm thinking. So around pick 17, that could be the first trade.
And the Cards are on the clock officially.
Okay.
I think we're going to get blindsided by the first trade, if I'm being honest.
You're probably right. This is going pretty according to plan as of right.
I thought there was going to be a little chaos near the start, and so far, like you said, it's gone absolutely to script. Quarterbacks off the board as early as could be, basically.
All three.
You're not. It's not like Chase Young was gonna go later than second overall. A cornerback at the 3, then you get the top tackle, and then pick 5, 6 quarterback. I mean, really, that's kind of how you drop most NFL drafts. So I think the chaos might be coming later, or there is the possibility that a lot of teams are willing to play it safe this year. Essentially do their mock drafts as a team and as an entity, and then say, this is who we're going with and this is what we're doing, and bring on the 2020 season,
You might be right. Maybe it's a day 2. They'll get used to day 1, and maybe they trade day 2 picks. That could be an absolute possibility.
All right. So Arizona Cardinals, the pick is in. You're saying that they desperately need an O lineman, Lando. Yeah. Is there any part of you that says be grabbing Simmons for the sheer talent and also their need for more defensive structure?
Oh, that's a great question, Mark. Yes, I do. Their defense is terrible. It's really bad. That's an absolute need, and if they were to do a mock draft, they would have probably assumed that Simmons is off the board right now. He might be the number 1. They're probably doing this exact conversation right now, or they did anyways, between those two guys. DK
from T-Bay is asking, he's saying he can't imagine the Broncos want Bowles starting on the line for another year, and a lot of O-line is top-heavy. Do you see them as a candidate to try to move up?
For sure. If they could move in front of the Browns, so if they trade with the Jaguars, that could be an option. The Jags were a candidate for a quarterback, so if they trade in front of the Browns, you're right. Hey, DK, I don't blame you.
Simmons,
you called it.
There we go. Yeah, you got to take it. That's just a testament to anyone out here watching your first draft. You got to take the best talent on the board, right?
Always got to take the best talent.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Simmons to the Cardinals.
They
got a
right
stud.
now.
They got an athlete.
Let me get a pick.
Look at here. That. What an outside linebacker, too.
He's unbelievable. He's been a star for a long time.
A lot of defensive talent coming off the board early. I'm a fan of that type of process. I mean, yeah, you got to take the quarterbacks, but there's an impact defensive tackle to anchor your line, a lockdown cornerback, or just an do everything linebacker. Like that can just change the tempo of a team so quickly.
Chances of Jerry Jones screwing up his pick? High, probably. He'll take Jonathan Taylor or something. Like they value running back so high. Cardinals, yeah, take the best player available. Totally. I don't know why these offensive tackles are sliding down. Now this is an opportunity for the Broncos, like you said, to move up. A lot of people having them mocked to a wide receiver. But if it was them, they probably would think that these guys are off the board. Like, why isn't it anyone drafting Jedrick Wills or Tristan Wirfs? That's the real question. So yeah, maybe interesting to see for sure. So if they keep,
I'm hoping that the Vikes are able to snag a top tier wide receiver at the 22nd. So the further they get pushed down the boards, the happier I am. Totally. But I do agree. I mean, the offensive line wins literally championships. So it is always interesting. We've only seen one offensive lineman come off the board, and anyone who knows anything about football will say it all begins with the line. So I expect to see a couple of linemen come off the board relatively quickly here. So
the Browns desperately need to take one.
Look at all the skill. Look at all the skill they've got there. They need a line.
Yeah.
So the Jags are on the clock, and just for those listeners out there, the Jags kind of have punted a lot of key players away and have made some head-scratching decisions in the last few months with some stud young players, and they have some gaping holes all over the field. But where do you think their troubles start? We're looking at a team that definitely needs a defensive back, and they also are in the midst of losing Yannick Ngakoue, an edge rusher, extremely young in his prime. So who do we think they are going to try and take right now?
I mean, you could look at Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle, AJ Epinesa, an edge rusher. I could see them going for CJ Henderson out of Florida, cornerback. Now, he doesn't like to tackle, from what I understand, but a really good cover corner, super athletic. Xavier McKinney, a safety out of Alabama, could be a guy, aggressive, could play all over the field as like a linebacker or safety. I would say he's one of the most athletic guys at this position right now, or at this part in the draft. Calebon Chason out of LSU is a linebacker that is very much hyped up in this draft.
So my take is that I think Chason is going to be going with this pick because the edge rush is so huge. And I just think there's maybe a little bit of almost animosity at that position right now. I'd like to see them secure someone who's going to be staying with this team. And, Chason is a super talented player. And those LSU Tigers, baby, they got a lot of prospects coming out in this draft.
For sure.
Well, the pick is in for Jacksonville.
Again, no trades.
No trades.
Do you think this is too high for Henderson to go?
I'm going to jump in here. I think I'm going to make a little bit of a bold play. I like A.J. Terrell, even though he got absolutely torched by Jamar Chase in the national championship game. I think he is a perfect fit for this team. I'm going to say A.J. Terrell from Clemson is the pick.
Hey, that's interesting. I don't hate that at all. I mean, I think he is mocked to slip down draft, so it'd be a very much an interesting pick. Or again, they're pulling a Giants where they potentially could have taken that player later on in the draft, but nobody's trading. I don't know if we're going to find out later it's a technical thing, or what. Like, I'm not sure.
I doubt it's a technical thing. I think that would be way too, something this important. I have to assume they would pause the draft, I think, before they would say, sorry, you can't do trades.
No, not that. Yeah. But maybe, I don't know, maybe in the war room, they have 10-32 lines open up for the draft purposes, but now the GM is in his house with a cell phone.
Yeah, right. There could be very real implications. I have to assume they've got a bunch of the team
think, right? Like, well, how like
their
I don't
own
know how they're all
their own houses doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I guess maybe they're just married to their players. Man, here's a wild one.
There we go.
What do you think? What do you think about the ideas of the Jags like shocking people and going running back or something? And shipping Fournette right out.
They're talking about trading him. So like a perfect replacement would be Jonathan Taylor. Like pound for pound. I remember when Fournette was coming out. He's the closest thing to Adrian Peterson that we've seen. And obviously when he's healthy, he shows he's an absolute stud and athletic. And that's what we saw through Jonathan Taylor in the combine. So, that would be a shocker, Scotty. That would be a shocker. I would say, yeah.
Selfishly, I'm kind of hoping that they announce that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers trade for Leonard Fournette, move up to the 14th, and Mark just has like a heart attack and just passes out in his chair at his new offensive starting lineup.
That would be,
yeah. Guarantee if he went to Tampa, he'd be arrested in a week. It's no offense. I just feel like he gets in trouble all the time.
Well, we still have a few moments.
Easy think there's going to be a run on offensive linemen and wide receivers now.
Well, we have a few moments before this pick. I mean, when we look at this team, like, is it more important for them to replace Jalen Ramsey and AJ Bouye? Or do they go more towards the line of scrimmage because, like Mark alluded to, Yannick Ngakoue was slapped with that franchise tag, but has made it very clear that he doesn't want to play in Jacksonville. So, like, do they address that safety that has two big holes or that line that has one big missing piece?
Remember the 2 years ago when that defense was unstoppable? Like, they were so good.
Saxonville
was so good, and it's been completely destroyed since then.
Here we go.
I had them on 2 fantasy teams. It was fun.
Yeah.
Did they just say they were
Henderson.
moving? Oh.
Yep.
Look at that.
So they go with cornerback position. Not a great tackler, but a stud cover corner. Yeah, totally.
Now that was a disappointed looking family. Holy. That's the most important day of the guy's life. Not a single person in that room smiling.
It's right now. That's a tough locker room right now. Everyone wants out, and they're drafting arguably one of the best cover corners in the league. But he's staying in Florida. I mean, right? He went to Florida, and he was a Gator, and yeah, he's staying in Jacksonville. So we're staying there.
There you go.
So, Cleveland Browns. The pick is in already.
Oh, they know who they want.
This is going to be Jedrick Wills. I'm calling it now.
Calling your shot?
Calling my shot. Alabama. This is a brainer for me. I think this works out perfectly for the Browns. But anyways, let's keep talking about Henderson. The Jaguars really need to make moves and help their locker room and like get the.
They need people to want to be there.
Absolutely. And yeah, exactly. Who's their quarterback? Are they going to stick with Gardner Minshew, a 6th round quarterback? Maybe. Like, no one wants to tank, but
did you hear the calls? Some players were saying it would be great to bring in Cam Newton for some healthy, friendly.
Oh my goodness.
That's I believe that's player speak for so they're happy. Get us a quarterback.
The family is happy. That guy did not look happy. CJ Henderson did not look happy at all. Maybe he's just trying to be tough. He wants to be out of Florida.
He's like,
He's done with the humidity and the Gators. he needs. But
Happiness all the way around, they're saying.
Okay, so the Browns pick is in. They would be nuts to be passing up on Tristan Wirfs or Jedrick Wills right now. They would be simply crazy.
yeah, here we go. Yeah,
Could be Becton.
oh, that would be bad. That I don't like that.
It's Cleveland.
I know, such a Cleveland move. I thought he was gonna pick.
Yeah.
I thought the kid was gonna pick. That would have been fun. But usually
Yep, not
usually
a
they
single
do that
trade.
in the second and third round. They get people to announce. That's a great. I don't know
Yeah,
if
good
anyone.
call. Jedrick.
Yes, Jedrick Wills.
There
we
you go.
Hey, guys, we're on fire right now, guys. Not like I'm not
Just picking them.
going to.
This is easy.
This is easy.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah.
Hey, anyone out there listening in the chat and the YouTube right now, tell a friend, bring a buddy in to listen up with you if they like football, because man, we are hitting. You're not going to find more
Hitting
accurate
dingers.
analysis anywhere.
Matt Wakefield says he knows of some late round quarterbacks that turned out pretty well. One of those low picks ended up in Tampa this season.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I personally, like, for fantasy purposes, I really like the prospect of Jalen Hurts late. I think he's possibly going in the first round. Him and Jordan Love are both athletic guys that I think will be very good for fantasy football. And like, if you're in a rookie draft and a early to mid second round pick, you might get an opportunity at Jalen Hurts. His running capabilities, not super accurate, but he's a leader. He could get that opportunity. He's kind of like, reminds me of what Lamar Jackson could be and what Josh Allen is. And I think he has a real opportunity to be a fantasy stud. And personally, I'm looking forward to taking him late in rookie drafts. Just like an FYI, that's kind of, I really do like Jalen Hurts in this, and he's going to fall quite a bit in this draft. So that's just my little hot take for right now. But the Jets are on the clock, right?
The Jets.
The Jets are on the clock. Mackenzie said they have a great opportunity
They have
to take the
like we
number one.
look. If you guys haven't been
overall
following the
wide
Instagram at snap_fantasy, we mocked up last week a jersey swap of Henry Ruggs going to the Jets. I wouldn't be surprised if they went Ruggs, if they went Judy, if they went Lamb. But I feel like they got to go wide receiver here. Like, it just...
I think they're going wide receiver as well. Now, they probably didn't also expect Tristan Wirfs to be there.
True.
Just,
and you know what? Here's
I think
the
I'm
counter.
on board with that.
Here's the counter. If they go Tristan Wirfs or they go even a guy like just as much Mekhi Becton, I feel like Sam Darnold and Le'Veon Bell will jump off of their couches to have a guy like that offer some pass pro and
1,000%.
some run support. I really feel like that would be a good move for them, but I think they're in a really good position here to make a big splash.
1,000%. I totally agree. I think the smart move is the O-lineman. Finally a fantasy player would be the favorite wide receiver. We put our money, especially Mark put his money on Henry Ruggs, but we also thought there's a chance that maybe CD and Jerry might be off the board by now. It's hard to say. But I think Henry Ruggs, there's lots of people that bet, the prop bets, that Henry Ruggs was going to be the first wide receiver off the board. This would be a splash. It'd be a lot of fun. I think this is one of the most pivotal picks so far in this draft and a little bit of a wild card. I think it's between Ruggs and Wirfs.
Yeah, this is exciting. If that Jets wide receiver core gets either of the guys you're talking about there, I mean, man, would that be fun? If with Darnold ready to roll, healthy, hopefully not getting any more mono.
I think they need Wirfs here. That's what I'm sticking with.
Shout out our listeners here. Easy, Alexander, Matt, you guys are true beauties for coming in and commenting so much. Get to know each other. Make sure you guys are friends because you might be competing in the 2020 Snap Listener League.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got Ian Poole in the house. The party is getting wild. All caps, Burrow Bengals, baby.
I got to say,
Ian.
like, last year's Listener League was one of the most fun leagues I've ever been a part of, and I only knew you guys. And to think, like, we have Easy now, who's like a weekly, if not more than that, part of what we do, which is awesome. And I'm excited to get maybe some more friends in, some more people that we've never met before. I think it's gonna be a great year. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
So my brother Ian just jumped in the chat. Ebo, shout outs. Thanks for joining. He's all the way out in Alberta.
Set that straight right now.
Hotter takes. I don't know, man. I don't know. When it comes to football, easily me. Every single other thing, Ian. I'm stoked. Ian likes the Bengals. His team's got a new quarterback. The potential future of the NFL. Ebo. If this quarantine wasn't going on, I'd be like on my way over to see you right now, bud.
To celebrate the Tiger King.
This is the first time since 2015 that there's no trades in the first 10 picks. Yep.
And we were in for something different.
Yep.
The pick is in.
The pick is in.
Here we go.
Tristan Wirfs.
Okay, if the Raiders don't, a wide receiver is going to go off the board in these next two picks, guaranteed. Oh, and then the Niners are mocked for wide receivers as well. This is going to be fun. All right, guys, I'm going to be right back. You guys can hold it down for about 30 seconds.
All right.
No, we don't know that yet. But
the pick is in. Sure. Very accurate. Ebo's pointing out that you've had good quarterbacks before. Still wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, you know what? It's a good starting point to have Burrow right now. He'll be pretty much NFL ready. Team has a lot of holes everywhere. We'll see how they do in this draft, but so far, there was no secret. They got him. He put up 60 touchdowns last year. Like, he's not going to do it again, but he'll do better. He won't put up 60. He'll do maybe 50. But AJ Green is going to be back too. So yeah, I'm excited for the Bengals in that regard.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Bungles can return to the Bengals. They were a lot of fun when they were at their peak there. So this is definitely, you couldn't really ask for a better starting point.
Well, we're 10 picks into this draft, and the dress code is flown out the window. Lando has reverted to the polo.
1 hour was as long as he was going.
Yeah. Listen,
we are at the 97-minute mark, boys.
I'm undoing buttons as we go on here, as we go down. All right, there's Henry Ruggs, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So, if you're in the comments right now, fire us a question if you have one. My question for you is, what are you drinking tonight? Write in the comments, what are you sipping on over there? Me? Bush. I'm having a Bush right now.
Bush. Because you're Bush League?
My wife just brought me up a Josh Sellers Cab Sav and a pizza. What an MVP.
Easy was right. Easy was right. Becton.
Off the board. Guy is enormous.
Can I just say that I called that one? Can you give me that one?
Did you call that? I saw it easy. pick it online. I thought he was his dad for a second. His dad is enormous.
Le'Veon Bell owners out there.
Look at that.
You guys are lucky because, man, this guy's huge.
He's got some fly kicks. Those Travis Scott
kicks
on as well.
Big boys, big family.
That's massive.
Yeah, I thought he was the draft pick for a second too. And I was like, wow, like shorts and a polo.
Could you imagine? It'd be an O-lineman. Look at this guy dunking. Or not dunking, but that's all right.
You gotta love that.
Oh, there it is.
I love the banter, guys, in the chat. One button is done now. It's gone down now. Can't see it.
But and that's I do like offensive linemen going early in drafts because they are just so important, and it's hard to find the elite talent. But you see, that's why they get paid. They get it like later on when it's time for their rookie deals to be done. Linemen get paid a ton of money, and no one ever argues the value to the team. It's basically just agreed upon that this guy's elite and he's getting all the money in the league.
So, Ebo, you're wondering about the Pats' plan behind the Gronk trade. The only thing, Gronk basically said that he is not going to play anywhere without Tom Brady. So he was either going to stay retired or if he was going to play anywhere, it was on Tampa Bay. So
if you have some time, about 8.5 minutes, give or take, we put out a video, Ian, not long ago about Gronk move. You can see
I can probably find him that.
There you go, Scotty. Get Ian on that trade. Make sure to like while you're here. We've got 18 watching right now. Send out a like. We've got 13 likes on this video. We're here grinding. It's 9:38 already, and we are.
It is past my bedtime.
11. I'm ready. It's been fun. We don't have any off but a ton of people have the Las Vegas Raiders. See what I did there, Mackenzie?
I don't know about you guys. But is Las Vegas like your new favorite sports city? Like I love the Vegas Knights. I think moving to Vegas is going to be a great move for the Raiders. I just think it's going to be a cool, fun, super competitive sports community for them. And I just think it'll freshens up that franchise a bit,
Actually, I agree. And I was in Vegas for their last Golden Knights playoff run. And you know what? People say, oh, Vegas, that can't be a sports town. There's a lot of people that live in Las Vegas, live and work there. And I saw Golden Knights swag everywhere. They were so proud of their team and having an actual team that they could root for. And the crowd is just chaos. So yeah, it's hard to see Oakland lose a team. The crowds were ridiculous. But if they get an ounce of that in Las Vegas, that city's terrifying.
Okay, so the pick is in. I think it's gonna be CeeDee.
CeeDee Lamb, I agree. I think it's going to be CeeDee.
Gotta be CeeDee Lamb here.
I don't know how you pass over.
You don't. You just don't. It's and I think this sets the Niners up beautifully to get Henry Ruggs because I know that Kyle Shanahan so desperately wants a Tyreek Hill or McCole Hardman-like player weapon that he can use in space because he got burned by them last year in the Super Bowl.
Could you imagine if one of them slips and Tampa just scoops one of them up?
There's not enough footballs
to put with that ridiculous offense. Oh, I'm just dreaming. Just that'd be fun.
Absolutely. So if it's not an offensive player, which we all think it's going to be, do you think they go with a linebacker like Kayvon Chason to replace what they traded away? Okay. All right. Pick his end. Henry Ruggs. Oh my God.
Wow. Ruggs, Alabama.
As if he is the first receiver gone.
Wow.
Oh, Mac.
Wow. Any money on that? No? Henry Ruggs. Wow. He goes before Jerry Jeudy. That is insane.
Okay, so now the Niners are going to get one of those two, I would imagine.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, Henry Ruggs, for anyone listening right now that doesn't know who this is, because we may have a casual viewer that doesn't know, this guy is ridiculous. He went into the combine with a good chance at breaking the 40-yard dash record set by, take it boys, who has
John Ross.
John Ross. So he ended up running, I think, like a 4.28, which is generational speed, freakish. So we knew wherever he ends up, he has one of those game-breaking potential skill sets. And he ended up on the Raiders.
That's crazy. So there's a funny, I learned a little tidbit about Henry Ruggs. In high school, here we go, they're talking about it probably. He did long jump, and he held the U.S. record, I want to say, for long jump at one point. I don't know how long it was, but
basketball
it was
highlights are insane.
Some shit like that. I don't know. It was a long jump. Yeah. So it's it's interesting. He's fast. This is the big. We finally got an offensive player. This is fun. I didn't think it was going to be Henry Ruggs at that pick, but they probably assumed we actually thought we were only one pick off. We thought he was going to the Jets. Anyway,
I know this might be way too early, but Ruggs going to the Raiders totally changes my tune on him. This is for me a terrible landing spot. I would be so excited with him on the Niners, and now I think that the Niners are going to go ahead and get CD or Jeudy, and totally going to change my outlook on the wide receiver rankings. But good to see a skill position player go for sure.
Mark, you were looking at taking Henry Ruggs with your pick in our rookie draft. Does it change your tune for him? Or do you like him in Las Vegas?
So actually, I'm not insane about this one. I don't think they have a great deep ball game in with the Raiders. I am also a Josh Jacobs owner and want to see the ball end up in his hands more. I love the idea that they're building some better pieces into this offense. I want to see them use them a little smarter. So I don't know. This isn't a good place for him. I just don't think they have the arm at quarterback to make Ruggs as relevant right away. But also, any team to have someone with that kind of speed for a kick as a special teams type guy, that can be game breaking too. So personally, I'm not crazy about this. I would have liked to see Henry Ruggs on a team with a better deep ball quarterback, like the Chiefs, maybe, if he were to sit around for that long. But
so word on the street is that Vegas was thinking about moving up because they thought Ruggs was going to be gone by this point. So far, it feels like everyone kind of got who they wanted. They got people, good picks. I think all of these picks are really good and smart, but I also think that teams like the Raiders, they got who they wanted. And I think that Raiders are going to get who they wanted. And I think that's going to be CeeDee Lamb. So that'll be an interesting fit. Now, what does this do for Deebo Samuel? He was an absolute stud rookie this past year, and he's gonna fall a little bit in drafts because we all are projecting that CD or Jerry Jeudy are one of these generational talents at wide receiver. We didn't say that about Deebo to start the season. He turned out to be a great receiver, but we didn't say that about him.
Yeah, and you look at CeeDee Lamb's skill set, absolutely monstrous after the catch, just yards after the catch. unbelievable. And I think that's somebody who Jimmy Garoppolo needs. Like, you saw how good Debo was after the catch last year, and you give him another piece that could potentially be better than Emmanuel Sanders. Like, they fill a need with a young stud who is unbelievable in space, and Kyle Shanahan. I mean, it's not what Ruggs could be with the speed, but I mean, CD is a big body, capable wide receiver. I still think best in the class. I know that Ruggs went first, but I think CD is still the best, and it would be a great fit here.
Yeah, totally. I'm.
Oh, San Francisco 49ers trade pick to Buccaneers. Hello. Here we go. Okay, Tristan Wirfs is going to the Bucs right now.
Oh, right. This is some exciting stuff.
Oh my goodness, the Bucs trade up.
What is happening right now?
Here we go. We're gonna get one of the wide receivers. I bet you.
Did Scott call it?
Oh my goodness, this is amazing.
Okay, Tristan Wirfs, 13, 14, Jerry Jeudy. Let's do it.
Oh my goodness.
I want it to happen for the narrative this season would be ridiculous.
I am thrilled that we get to display the trade graphic that I prepared for the first time. It's great news for me.
Show it, Mack.
If CeeDee Lamb, oh man, I will lose it. Just watching the Bucs would be so much fun. I don't even want it to make football sense. I just want it to be so much fun.
Imagine they take a running back. Oh, look at that trade graphic. What a trade graphic.
Are we going to be doing a third Buccaneers offseason video?
Nice.
Like, I just don't know what this world is coming to.
That is sick, Mac. Nicely done.
That is a sweet graphic right there.
Bruce Arians, get that guy a Mai Tai. Holy.
What a stud. So they're getting the 14 and 117 and giving the 13 and the last 7th round pick for source.
If they manage to snag arguably the elite best wide receiver in the draft, I know it wouldn't make much fun. There's other holes, but if they pull that off, the extreme makeover on this offense from a unreliable gunslinger in Winston who just whips it to the best of all time in Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski with this wide receiver core, they would be unstoppable. Oh man.
I think there is an argument to be made that they also desperately need some secondary. I wouldn't hate to see AJ Terrell go to the Bucs right here.
Their secondary does need help. That would make more football sense in my opinion, but it would just be way more fun if they they made this pick.
You got to think this is going to be a tackle, right?
The pick is in, yeah, and I think you're right.
Tackles are one of the hardest positions to have on the O-line, as we've seen so far. No guards have gone off the board. I mean, guys that can play both for sure, but the tackles to guard that edge rusher is so important to protect the blind side of the quarterback.
Thanks for dropping in, Ebo.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.
No, Tampa. 13 and 14 goes to Tampa right now. Yeah. Oh, look at all those soldiers going crazy for Tampa.
So what did Tampa give up?
Yeah, I actually didn't see that. Nothing that anyone would have predicted, Lando. I guarantee that.
No, what is happening? All right, pick is in.
Oh boy, this could be where the chaos really gets going.
And this could be.
Oh.
Yep. Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle, Iowa.
Okay.
Gotta protect Brady.
Arguably one the best tackle in the draft. Not my pick. Not my number one, but in a lot of people's mock drafts, he was going early to, say, the Giants. So it's this is an interesting pick for the Bucs. I think it makes complete sense. We expected them taking tackle, guard, offensive lineman this whole time. I think it's an awesome pick.
Gotta invest in your line.
Complete sense.
Yep.
For the Bucs.
Tampa is going to smash the NFC South this season. That is completely unbiased.
Mark is fired up now. Now, who do you think's going at the 14?
So they have 2 picks back to back.
Yep.
Wow. They maybe go. What are their needs? Let me see. Hold on here. So
let's go at 14 right now.
According to my information, if I could find it, the Bucs. Oh, right. So yeah, I mean, they could. I mean, imagine if they take a running back right now.
My feed is saying it's San Francisco's pick, but
right. So they traded away. They traded away the 14th pick. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they traded away the 4th. That makes sense. They're not going to get both. That would have been too high of a price.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad there. Or everyone's bad.
Everyone's, yeah.
So, yeah. So San Francisco, my bad. San Francisco takes. So now they have their pick. This was a no-brainer. I don't know why the Bucs. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the Bucs traded up for potentially a guy that they could have taken. Anyways, doesn't matter. Who knows? Irregardless, the San Francisco 49ers are going to take that wide receiver that we thought. They still have the same options. They've got I think it's got to be CD Lamb. It very well could be Jerry Jeudy. It's kind of your flavor of the day, whoever it is. A lot of people want either of those guys as their number one wide receiver. Mark, in your opinion, why would the Bucs trade up 1 pick to get a guy that we're assuming would have been there anyways with the Niners? Maybe the Niners had another option. Maybe the Broncos wanted to trade up or move up, or the Falcons wanted to move up, and they said, "Hey, Bucs, we got an offer they want an lineman. You got to pay."
Yeah, I don't know, Lando, because it's just obviously the 1 pick is not. It's not like the 49ers are going into this looking to take a tackle. So to me, there must be something else, like either trying to block another team from getting a player down the road, or I don't know.
The Niners did this with the Bears when they traded 1 spot back, and the Bears took a quarterback that the Niners were never going to pick. So this is par for the course for the Niners. They're one of the best runs in the National Football League. What we've seen, they get an extra mid-round pick for really nothing. Really for a player. This is why the Giants and I don't know who else I would say, the Jets are such poorly run organizations, I guess to say, is that these guys or the Raiders maybe, I don't know. They trade back if you can. Trade back and you get the same player plus an extra. So, any other? I guess we already talked about who the Niners may pick. Besides CD Lamb, do you think they pick maybe a different lineman, maybe a D lineman? We still have a lot of high-end D linemen and a lot of edge rushers. Not that they need it, but Javon Kinlaw. They have Ross Blacklock, Marlon Davidson. Lots of D linemen there available to just bolster that line. Or a corner. I mean, there's only 2 corners gone off the board. They're not super set at corner. They have aging people. Maybe they take Xavier McKinney, Alabama, stud safety linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco, is a pretty elite team, as we know. So they could go a lot of different ways. I mean, the sexy pick is the cream of the crop of this wide receiver core, but as we know, there is a lot of depth in this draft class. So you have to wonder if they are going to go for something that maybe feels like it's a bit more of a sparse product. If they don't go wide receiver, what would be your guess be?
Man, oh man, 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 oh man, oh man. I don't know. It could be like a guy like AJ Terrell out of Clemson. McKenzie thought he might go a little bit earlier. He got lit up by Jamar Chase, but it could fill a need. He could sit behind a couple corners and learn from them and grow. So that would be maybe a low key pick that could we could see from the Niners. But they lost Emmanuel Sanders. That's why everyone is expecting them to get a wide receiver. However, they got this pick from the Colts, and they got this big pick by trading the D lineman. So maybe they're having trouble here, and maybe that's why they traded back, because they have so many options at D lineman that they can pick their favorite guy almost that they knew was going to be there, because Derek Brown's gone. Yeah, exactly. DeForest Buckner. Right. Is he a linebacker or D lineman? Yeah, he's D lineman. So I could see Javon Kinlaw, so they get a stud guy. We see Jerry Jeudy there hanging out with his family, and looks like it could be his girlfriend.
Pick is in.
All right.
John Lynch, what a boss!
I think it's going to be.
I do think it will be Lamb.
Jerry Jeudy not looking at his phone.
I love how everybody's looking at their phones.
Yeah.
like not just the play.
Call? Is he getting a call? Did we see Jerry Jeudy answer the call? Could you imagine?
I could imagine.
Live on camera? That would be crazy. I would be thrilled for Jerry Jeudy. He might, like, in fantasy leagues, landing in a perfect spot like the Niners would be great. Are we seeing John Lynch call that player live? That'd be cool. It looks like he's calling Jerry Jeudy. That'd be cool.
Me, any receiver that lands in San Francisco in fantasy circles, man, is that a great landing spot.
Ryan Temps is asking if they trade again. Well, you're probably ahead of us when we're watching this, but the pick is in, so it seems like they're keeping that pick. Excellent question by Matt Wakefield.
He always comes in with the zingers.
Yep. It's actually a fact if you look up his IMDb or his Wikipedia. In fact, they're related.
Oh man,
Javon Kinlaw. Wow,
I brought that guy's name up. So they basically just traded a D lineman, got a D lineman. They just basically get a young player at a low salary to replace a guy that wants a new big contract. So they're doing it right. And they get a guy that can rush the passer, excellent pass, or one of the best run defenders in the line. So interesting pick. The wide receivers are falling.
They are. They really are falling. And man, it's got to be the true belief that you're going to be able to get talent at the position later on, and people are targeting other positions where maybe they think there's only one or two top tier guys at the position, and if you don't grab them before you get the big name wide receivers, once there's a run on wide receivers, it might come so late that all the other skill positions are gone.
For sure. Because it's so muddled at the top. Like I said, it's whoever, if you prefer CD or Jerry Jeudy, like it's a coin flip. They're both super talented. They're both elite wide receivers. So yeah, you get a excellent run stopper and Javon Kinlaw, and it's I think it's smart for the Niners. They're building such a crazy defense.
That defensive line is just a bunch of bullies.
Is it ever? Holy man! Oh, Alexander.
Ha.
Yeah, McKenzie, you need to
Big
get.
question.
So
I believe that one's
Xbox
for McKenzie.
or PS4. I'm gonna ask him. He definitely needs to join our societies on the golf club. I've been playing it lots. I was playing Red Dead Redemption nonstop, but I've since stopped.
Oh, Alex Smith is a PS4 player. Well, I do need a friend. They're all Xbox players, and I'm the only PS4 player. I need a friend.
Yes. So add Scott. He's a terrible golfer, so you won't be able to. Won't take you too long to catch up to his skill level. And it's an excellent game. Very frustrating sometimes. The putting is very difficult, and to keep.
Is it though?
Perfect. Yeah, Mark is an excellent putter. Regardless, yes, you should definitely get the game. It's a ton of fun. Tons of these custom weird courses. You can create courses if you're artistic. Anyways, Alexander, you're getting us off track here. The Broncos are on the clock. A lot of people, again, I know we're a broken record here, but I have them mocked for a wide receiver. We assumed that they would get maybe the fourth wide receiver off the board by now, which could be a T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, Laviska Shenault, Denzel Mims. However, they get their pick of the top two.
I had these guys pegged for Mims. I always had these guys pegged for Mims, and now with these recent developments here, I really think that they're going to go for the more complete receiver here to play alongside Courtland Sutton, and I think that's going to be Jerry Jeudy.
How far can Lamb fall?
I'm really shocked as to this point how far Jeudy and Lamb have fell. I mean, it just goes to show you though, like how as fantasy-minded people, how we so want the skill players to rise up the board, but they don't immediately fit the team need, and like it happens every draft, and it always catches me by surprise. But I feel like it shouldn't, you know. Like Javon Kinlaw is a fantastic prospect, and here we are.
Totally. Obviously, they're sticking to their draft boards and not going to the media and wanting these elite wide receivers. The thing is with CD and Jerry, they're not that big. Like, they're not a Julio Jones or a Megatron. They're more of the Antonio Brown type, where they're a little bit slighter, but they're such elite. They've got excellent hands, some of the best in the league. They don't have the speed that Ruggs had, but they're fast enough. And obviously the route running is phenomenal. But, I mean, yeah, maybe people are just waiting. Scotty, I'm really looking forward to Justin Jefferson being a Minnesota Viking.
I did say at the start of the draft when they weren't going real early. I mean, every pick gets us a little closer to the 22nd. Once again, this might be a selfish want for us to have an exciting wide receiver going into the year to replace what Diggsy brought on a kind of game by game basis.
I just can't help but think that if these wide receivers continue to fall, that they are closer to being a Green Bay Packer.
Jerry Jeudy to the Broncos.
Oh,
Jerry Jeudy to the Broncos.
Oh man.
Oh wow. So this could be the worst landing spots for the wide receivers.
Jeez.
They got their guy. Mark, not great for your Courtland Sutton share, but good for any Drew Lock shares that people have. Very interesting pick. I mean, they were mocked a receiver nonstop. This should be a lot of fun. Finally, these guys are off the board. Now, how far CeeDee Lamb falls. It doesn't seem like the Falcons need a wide receiver. The Cowboys would be interesting, but they don't need one right now. They just paid their guy. Dolphins, Raiders again. I mean, imagine if the Raiders take 2 wide receivers, that'd be bananas. So the Eagles could get CeeDee Lamb. Eagles could get their man CeeDee Lamb. That's probably where CD is going to fall if nobody trades up. The
Easy's asking if it's possible that the Packers trade up and snatch one of the elite wide receivers over the Vikings.
Mack. I don't know if anyone heard that.
I don't think it's possible. I mean, it's just not how the Packers roll. They're typically pretty patient and they wait their turn. I would be shocked to see them do that, especially after the last.
They move back more often.
Yeah,
than they move up, don't they?
I mean, it would be a great pick. Like, CeeDee Lamb, sign me up. That would be unbelievable. But I mean, I would be super pleased with Justin Jefferson if he continues to fall. Yeah, this is crazy.
Here's an easy scenario where two landing spots for the 2 wide receivers are not great. Now, we know how talented they are. So you in your rookie drafts, you should probably draft talent before anything. These guys could easily have fantasy relevant seasons like AJ Brown did last year. But if CD lands in an elite offense like the Packers, for example, he's going to go off the board before these guys easily. I would take him. I would be happy for Packers fans, although I'm a Vikings fan. So that's kind of the scenario I'm kind of going for here. What do you think?
So Judy's on the Broncos with us here. What's going to have to happen for him and Sutton to both be relevant this year, or is it even in the realm of possibility? Landing spot.
This pushes down Sutton a little bit. I think he will have at least a rapport with Drew Lock. Drew Lock didn't. Cortland Sutton was much better with Joe Flacco at the helm. He suffered a little bit in fantasy when Drew Lock was there, but I mean, not to say he's not going to get better. I think they're going to be inside the top 36 wide receivers mark. Having them both inside the top 24 might be a push just based on the volume there in Broncos in Denver.
Yeah.
So the Falcons are on the clock. They need some defensive help. They're not. They could also use. They just need defensive help. I could see maybe offensive linemen, but all the big guys are off the board. So if you look at the defensive, so they could take AJ Epinesa, Zach Bond, Terrell Lewis. So those are some edge rushers. They could take a Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. Malik Harrison out of Ohio State, out of linebackers. Ross Blacklock out of TCU as a defensive tackle. Some pretty high-end Marlon Davidson out of Auburn. Some decent defensive help. I think there has been a little bit of a teardrop when it comes to the talent, but not to say these guys don't have potential. So it's not a great spot for the Falcons. Maybe move back. Maybe they find on the phone with the guy that wants CeeDee Lamb desperately, like the Minnesota Vikings or the Philadelphia Eagles or the Green Bay Packers. To think that the Packers had a chance at CD going into this draft would have been an absolute long shot. You wouldn't have thought that in a million years. But now they're not so far apart that it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, not even close. That wouldn't even be in the forefront of my considerations.
Right. But now would you agree that it could happen?
Again, they typically don't trade up.
Team better than anyone.
Yeah, I mean, they typically don't trade up. But the Packers, for their history, they keep like 95% of their roster is guys that they've traded. They groom players and they keep them, and they don't make a lot of free agent splashes, or they don't make a lot of trades. They draft their players and they keep them. And I mean, it'd be great to see them trade up here. I don't see it happening. It's what we desperately need, though. I mean, we've had that chat about. I'm sorry you hooked me on the Packers, but like Jordan Love potentially being picked if it gets to that point by the Packers, and like I'm just not ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers yet. I think he has another 4 or 5 good years. I would like to see them try to get a win now piece, and CeeDee Lamb for whatever team he goes to is certainly that.
Yeah. On the defense, I think AJ Epinesa from Iowa is probably the most explosive, powerful, big-bodied pass rusher. He's on the edge, strong against the run, and can get after the quarterback. Super quick, intimidating. So on big boards here, we have CD, Xavier McKinney, Justin Jefferson. Isn't Caleb Chasen gone?
No, he's not.
Okay. Sorry. He's definitely an outside linebacker out of LSU that maybe I mentioned him. Anyways, that they could easily pick. I think guys are going to be pretty decent picks for the Falcons here. The pick is in. We get some live reactions from the owner, coaches, GM.
Who we saying?
I just have a feeling about the edge rush. AJ, thoughts for you, Scotty? What do you think? What direction?
I think that'd make a lot of sense.
Mark, do you think they go with like a safety like Xavier McKinney?
I think it's going to be Jason or Kenneth Murray would be an awesome pick for them too. I'll say Kenneth Murray, linebacker.
Okay. Oh, he showed him. That's funny.
All right, I'm going to go off the board here. Yetur Gross-Matos out of Penn State.
Oh.
AJ Terrell.
There
you have it.
Oh, man.
Finally some pass defense in Atlanta.
Yeah. I had him going to like maybe the Jags. AJ Terrell. So yeah, they went defense. We saw that coming. It just depends. Obviously their pass defense suffered like crazy last year. AJ Terrell, yeah, long athletic corner, but was criticized for the poor national championship game and got torched by Jamar Chase. I mean, like I said earlier, Jamar Chase is one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in better, like arguably, questionably better than CD, Jerry, and these guys, and these younger, right now. So Jamar, that's not necessarily such a bad thing. So good cornerback help, pass help for the Falcons. Not a sexy pick, but good. Any other reactions from you, Marky?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be going to that defensive well this whole draft, and I'm just glad they started there. Can't say I'm not a little jealous. I did like him, and I would have loved to see him land on my team, but now it's just going to be
Mark.
It's going to be competition in my division.
Can't have it all. But what a great corner.
Like crazy to think though that like it's so tough to think that you would pass on CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I understand they got Julio, they got Calvin Ridley, they got Russell Gage emerging. Like they got a lot of pieces, but like the allure of CeeDe Lamb. Just for me.
I mean, Julio's not getting any younger.
Yeah, I agree with Landon. It's Julio is on his last few years here, even with that stallion workhorse physique. So I don't know. It wouldn't have been crazy for them to decide the future was coming and they could be a tandem until kind of the way Roddy White and Roddy. There was a time where Roddy White was in Julio's shoes.
Man. I hate to say this, but the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock, and CeeDee Lamb here would just make me puke.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my boy Taylor. I haven't seen him in the draft yet or in the room yet, but I know that he'll be watching, and he'll be super excited to see potentially CeeDee Lamb go here. So
where's Taylor? Get him in here.
Where is that? Where is that guy?
I'm going to see if I could Listen, you know it means a lot when I'm texting Taylor.
10:16 at night Eastern Standard.
Get in this room. That's
Oh
why I just
man,
texted.
you gotta love it when the Vikes icon has made it into my little tracker here as we're getting a little closer. There's a lot of talent left on the board, especially on the wide receiver section, and I would just love it if we could get that far.
Yeah. So it's funny. When I was talking about the Panthers, I was talking about Leighton Vander Esch. I got my players mixed up.
Oh yeah,
teams mixed up.
That's center of that Dallas D.
Yeah, I really like Vander Esch as a playmaker. He's all over the field. Seems like whenever I watch the Cowboys, he is in the play. For some reason, I thought he was on the Panthers.
He was my IDP back when we had them in our dynasty league.
Super.
He was great. He was everywhere. I got so many points with him.
So
and his name is terrific.
Although DeMarcus Lawrence is excellent, do they go with an edge rusher? Oh, you're just sick to your stomach.
I feel like one of us is going to keep saying Lamb until he goes because it's just, I mean, it must be so hard to actually stick to your plan and not go for him and not just blow up your whole plan.
I mean, historically, the Cowboys have had an excellent O-lineman, but they are aging. Like Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, these guys are getting older. Ezra Cleveland out of Boise State is an excellent O-lineman. Not a pick that Jerry would love, maybe. It doesn't seem like something he would do, but I could see them maybe going with a lineman, perhaps.
It is funny that we know that Jerry Jones is there allegedly just like by himself making this pick. If you believe, yeah, there he is. If you believe all the tweets and coverage, I could just see him saying, "Screw it, I'm going Lamb." Like, because the tickets, like, man, the hype, the media, like.
I really like Michael Gallup.
Oh no, I get it, but I just, from an owner's perspective, a guy like Jerry Jones, like the allure. I'm just saying it must be hard if you had another guy in mind with the marketability of a talent like that, literally just in front of you, with the ability to say, I'm taking that guy and he's going to make my franchise a fortune.
Easy brings up a good point too. Like if CeeDee Lamb went to the Cowboys here, this would be the most classic Jerry Jones move of all time. Overpaying Cooper, really close to inking a deal with Prescott, already paying Zeke, and now he's going to bring in another guy who's going to warrant the same kind of money down the road. And Michael Gallup exists as well.
I know. I love Gallup. I think he's great. That's why I don't think they should or will take a wide receiver. But you're right. It's very much they like those stars. It's like no pun intended. But like
if CeeDee Lamb lands here, there is zero, and I mean zero, excuses for Mike McCarthy not to be a winning coach next year and to take this team to the playoffs. Like there's just, how many more skilled players do you need?
I know. Oh, Mike McCarthy looking fly in the suit. Pick is in.
They did. Oh. They picked him. They picked him. Oh my God.
No. Come on. What is going on?
Land.
Oh my God.
No. The allure for Jerry Jones is just too much.
No, CD, no.
That hurts to see.
Oh my gosh.
I knew Jerry could not resist. Oh, no. Did I not say he could not resist?
Oh no.
It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to make him money.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, bad. Hilarious.
Yeah, I think that moment of silence there was kind of warranted here. We don't mean to leave you hanging if you're listening, but we're just as much in shock as you guys are. We know that this company, the Dallas Cowboys, just dishes out money, and we just saw them ink a huge contract for Amari Cooper. They've got an excellent wide receiver too in Michael Gallup in his third year. And now to get the best wide receiver in the class is just kind of a shock. I was expecting defense there all the way for the Cowboys.
I guess the plan is just to try to outscore every team at a rate that allowing points is, it'll just be impossible to keep up with the passing game is, I guess, their play. Yeah, it might not make the most sense, but when it's Jerry calling the shots in Jerry World, it's whatever makes the most sense for the franchise in the marketing department, in the ticket sale department, the jersey sales, and Jerry made the call. So it's going to be a fun time in Dallas.
Sorry,
it's not going to be boring.
Mack's face
Sorry for my absence there, guys. I just had to run and puke.
I was going to say, I'd love to see Mack's face, and there he is.
Yeah. Wow.
This is gross.
Wow.
This is like...
That's insane, guys. That's insane. This run on wide receivers is what we kind of expected, just a little bit later than we expected.
So, like, let's chat real quick. Like, what kind of fantasy value can you expect out of CeeDee Lamb going into year one? Is he going to take some time to get on the field here, or is he like? I would assume that he's an immediate piece. You don't draft a guy this high when you don't necessarily need him if you're not going to use him.
He's locked and loaded. He's a 1B, I feel like, to Amari Cooper.
Do you take him over Michael Gallup? That is the question.
Yeah, for sure I would. It's like I love Michael Gallup, and he's shown that he's been a great wide receiver too, and sometimes outperforming Amari Cooper, which is why it's so mind-boggling why they have two elite pass catchers there. I'm still in shock. I'm shook. I love CeeDee Lamb, and I wanted him to go in a spot that just worked. I guess I'm happy it's not going to the Dolphins. That would be a little bit. Yeah. No, exactly. He's most compared to the best wide receiver in the league right now.
It also raises the question. Yeah, will Gallup? I see easy with free Gallup. I mean, it kind of puts you in the same situation where, like with Tampa, for example, they bring in Gronk, and everybody's, ourselves included, love to salivate at the idea of having O.J. Howard and Gronk running routes together. Then there's word that potentially O.J. Howard is not down with playing second fiddle to Gronk. Could there be some wheeling and dealing? Maybe Gallup isn't actually a Cowboy come the start of training camp.
If that's the case, I think it would make the most sense. I would love to see just the two guys there in Dallas rather than the three, because I personally think Gallup's an excellent. He's produced more than what his draft capital was, and it's too bad for him. But yeah, I hope he moves out. I hope being traded to the Packers would be a good option as a number 2 to Adams.
Wakefield has a confirmed tidbit. Apparently, he believes Gallup's going to the Texans for next year's first and second round picks. Classic Bill O'Brien.
That would be there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
sounds about right.
Yeah. Alert! The Texans trade into the first round to draft CeeDee Lamb, only to find out he's already gone. Something like that.
Who needs a GM, right?
This is wild, gentlemen.
Never get it.
Yeah.
So if you were to rank the wide receivers as of right now going into a rookie draft, who is the highest on your board? Who's the guy?
CD is still was the highest before my draft. He's the highest still.
Okay.
Well, it's off the amount he threw the ball. I think it's easily CD. If I want to rank it,
CD, Judy Ruggs?
Wow, it's gonna be tough. Maybe CD, Judy Ruggs. So that's what I had it before. I would consider having Ruggs ahead of time. He's got that big playability. We know they're going to target him more and force him the ball, and he's going to be that home run deep threat. That's like a best ball dream.
Depending on where Justin Jefferson goes here, he might be my 2. I'm just going to say that now.
He might be your,
Yeah.
Yeah. If he goes to the Eagles, what do you think?
That's a negative. No. No. And I think that's
Marky,
a very good
what are your
possibility.
thoughts?
CD still number 1. Number 2, Judy. I'd like to see where. Honestly, I'd like to see where like Rager and Mims end up, but like that 3rd spot is kind of up for grabs right now. There's still lots of teams, lots of wide receivers that are going to find good homes here. But yeah, I think it's CD's game, and he's going to get the ball a lot. It's going to be like a Tampa Bay offense of last year. Like Dak's got to be throwing the ball a lot more this year, I would think.
I'm gonna call it now that the Vikings select Jalen Reagor and the Packers select Denzel Mims.
Ditto.
Right.
I don't know if the Vikings are gonna take him with their first pick or second. Hard to say. Depends on if any cornerbacks get off the board here. I think it'd be hilarious if they took Diggs. That would be super funny.
Classic burn.
But Jeff Gladney would be all right. Christian Fulton would be all right as cornerbacks for the or Xavier McKinney also would be good for the Vikes. So the Dolphins are on the board. They took a Tua Tagovailoa for their first pick. They could take a offensive tackle to help keep him safe. Josh Jones or Ezra Cleveland would be good options. Isaiah Wilson would be all right as well for them. I think though that's kind of a tier upon its own. Austin Jackson at USC would be, technically an offensive tackle. Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, the guard, would be an option as well. But what do you guys think? Do you think they shock the world and take a running back here? Take DeAndre Swift?
Nah, too early. I think they can get him with the 26th. That's what I'm saying. They're going to take Swift or Taylor at the 26th. I think they go, just looking at the board here, who's still left?
Austin Jackson.
Oh, they took Austin Jackson. All right, look at that.
There you go, tackle.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah, it's always hard to really hate on solidifying that line. It's never sexy, but it's so vital. So
they had so many first
especially when you
picks.
got yourself, an elite quarterback who's going to be the face of your franchise. You got to protect him.
I'm a little bit surprised that Ezra Cleveland has fallen down the board so far, but I guess they could say that there's a lot in this second or third tier of O-linemen. Joe Michalek, I appreciate you sticking around, man. I hope you're enjoying the draft.
Yeah, I miss Joe.
I know.
It's fun to hear some of that.
Do you guys know about Austin Jackson's story?
I feel like I've heard it, but
bone marrow
Yes.
donations?
right.
Yeah, so he was unable to train in the offseason last year because he donated bone marrow to his sister who was going through some complications. So his draft stock may have taken a hit due to that. But, you talk about a special character. This guy is certainly that. So I think a good locker room guy, a good guy to have in your facility. And, I wouldn't call this slipping, but definitely I think he warrants a higher pick than what he got.
Hey, there you go. Good story there, Mack.
Gotta love that locker room presence. Sounds like a value pick for Miami's getting some great value for their franchise.
Yeah, they're having a good draft.
Yep, Easy approves. Dolphins making good picks. Good call, Easy.
Where's Petey? Petey's getting here.
Yeah, I know. I messaged him. He said he was in there, and I was like, "Well, where's the comment gold? You're getting lit up."
For the record, I just heard from Taylor, and I said, CeeDee Lamb, F you, and he said, LMFAO will still find a way to miss the playoffs again.
At least he's a realist. I appreciate that. Jerry Rice will come back and join them, and somehow they'll still miss the playoffs.
Des Bryant.
Yeah, that's what. See, that hits too close to home. He was trying. He was trying.
All right, so yeah, Dolphins make a very smart pick. The Jags are on the board, or no, the Raiders are on the board. They need to.
Only 3 more picks till the purple.
So I think they could go with a Kenneth. Is Kenneth Murray still available? I think they could go with Kenneth Murray. Absolutely. Or AJ Epinesa, edge rusher. I think those are 2 excellent choices for the Raiders. They got this pick via the Bears with that crazy trade they made. So I feel like they I think it just makes a lot of sense to take a defensive player. I see that's because like the Raiders wanted a Antonio Brown. That's why I'm surprised that they went with Ruggs for their first wide receiver. I guess they think that he can do it all, and he very well could. But Mayock always pulls guys out of nowhere in these, or he did last year anyways.
Let's see a Chason or a Murray here. I want to see a good defensive pick.
Yeah, I think looking at the linebackers that are available right now, I think that Kenneth Murray or Patrick Queen make a lot of sense. That's just kind of where I'm leaning. I don't know about you guys. It'd be nice to see some more cornerbacks, but I don't think a guy like Christian Fulton is worthy of this pick. I do like Xavier McKinney as well, but I think those guys might go second round tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be up all night hosting until then. We're not sleeping tonight on the snap. We're going all the way through.
Gonna have to go brew some coffee.
Damon Arnett. Cornerback. Not the player.
That really shocks me. Yeah, like
that is just not even in the first round discussion.
No, not even close. This is out of left field.
Truth to your Mayock, phantom picks or like unpredictable pick.
This is what I'm saying.
Jeez, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
why?
love it because
here's the thing. We see Mayock in previous years doing all this draft up, and that's why these players are up on boards, kind of thing. Since he's not there anymore, now these players slip because he has his own way of analysis. But like, come on, again, like you can get this pick later. Trade back. Why are you drafting Ohio State cornerback? Ohio State cornerback, Damon Arnett. I don't know why you take a guy like that. But hey, whatever. Sure.
Wakefield's quoting a classic reaction on Madden when you go award. You reached.
Excellent. I like that, Matt. This is why I like you, Matt. Doesn't need to be super wordy and articulate, but you have a way to get a point across.
Nothing. Not much more needs to. You reached.
Yeah. I think that's
at the 22, I will take it.
I'd be curious to see why they chose Damon Arnett over guys like Christian Fulton or Xavier McKinney or even Trayvon Diggs. I mean, these guys are, in my mind, better talents than Damon Arnett. I mean, I really don't know a lot about him other than that he's a Buckeye product, which speaks to itself. But I'd love to know the reasoning behind this one.
He doesn't look overly big. Like, he's up against bigger talent and he's aggressive. Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly. He's flew up our draft board, but like I said, like this is a typical Mayock move, and we should get used to this kind of unreliable. Yeah, I like Xavier McKinney. He's a safety. I mean, but he does it both. Like he could do it all. He's a linebacker if you need him to be. So
yeah, I mean, if you got a good tackling DB, then you got a really versatile player to take on some of these more versatile backs in the NFL. And like you're seeing so much more of the receiving game from these elusive running backs. It's really important to have players that are good at tackling and can play two ways like that.
All right. Do they go defense again? I think they go a guy like Xavier McKinney. I think this is great value for him. Either that or they try to replace potentially their leading pass rusher and get AJ Epinesa or a Raekwon Davis out of Alabama, something like that. Hard to say here now. I assume they go defense. It would again be a shocker if they went with a running back. But I think because nobody's got off the board, there's no point in taking a running back at this point. They technically still have Leonard Fournette on his deal. I know they're shopping him, but they could take a day two like a Cam Akers and get value for their picks is what I'm thinking. Now, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'll have to check what time the draft starts, but hopefully these running backs find really nice homes. That's what I'm hoping for. So far, these wide receivers have found a little bit difficult homes to find targets and reliable targets. So in your rookie drafts, I'm still expecting running backs to go before these wide receivers, even though the NFL draft has gone differently. Getting a guy like DeAndre Swift and Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins is going to be more valuable on your fantasy team than the quarterbacks and wide receivers.
And Landon, you're going to be live streaming that day too for the entirety of the second round, correct?
Yeah, round 2 and 3. I will be sitting here.
Excellent. Of course, excellent.
Okay, right. This may sound crazy, but I got a question for any one of you guys right out of the blue. You can answer it quickly or take a minute to reflect. What would you rather win a fantasy football championship or your team win a Super Bowl? Go.
My team win a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
100% Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean,
not even close.
It's funny. I'd like to see like an 80,000 person survey asking that question, And if you're in the now and you think anything differently, or if you think exactly the same as us, put it in there because we want to know.
It is glorious when you win Super Bowl champion or fantasy championships because you do get to, you did that, so to speak. You made all the decisions, but it's something so much bigger when your team you root for and have rooted for pulls it off. I'd take that every time.
We do have an interesting conversation going on in the chat here. Alex Smith, do you think that Billy Big Balls is going to trade up and get Jordan Love, future face of the Pats? I'd love that. As a Packers fan, I think Easy could speak to that as well. I'd love to not be tempted to take Jordan Love at the 30th. So, yeah, I mean, go ahead. Take him.
I think Love will go to the Saints or the Packers. I think both make a lot of sense. I actually meant to, fantasy wins pay money. That's a great point, Ryan. We don't get money when our favorite teams. We probably lose money.
You lose a lot of money when your favorite team wins the Super Bowl.
Especially when Scotty buys memorabilia like bobbleheads and and sign helmets.
Everything.
So
Should see
great
my
point,
Raptors.
Ryan
Should
Temp.
see my Raptors gears.
Great point, Ryan Temps. If you want to this year in our league of record, you can holler at me for some trades, but we'll leave it at that. Drew Brees was rumored to retire this past year, but they convinced him to stay back. So do not be surprised if the Saints take a quarterback, and it's probably going to be Jordan Love, but it could be someone else. To be that replacement, the heir apparent in New Orleans. They forced him to come back, so I think Love is a good pick for them, and maybe that you see them trying to move up.
But
So
Landon, what about Taysom Hill?
Not the answer in New
And
Orleans.
there you
There
have it.
There he
Chase
is.
on. Goes to the Jaguars.
That was about time.
Look at that.
That's a good pick for the
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jags. We'll make CJ Henderson maybe a little bit happier to have a good stud linebacker with him, so he's not alone. It's clear to see the so he's an edge. I thought he was
He's an edge player.
Oh, he's an edge player. I had him in the linebacker spot, but
He has an LSU linebacker.
Oh, this guy's trilingual. Gotta love that.
really sent him up the draft board.
Wouldn't you say, boys?
Very important in the NFL.
I would say with Caleb on Chason that he is not a day one starter. I think he's going to need a little bit of time to develop. That's the way that I see him.
Okay. All right. A development guy. I mean, we know the Jags aren't going to win this year. So I think they get young talent at defense, kind of try to get that defense back to where it was, like I was talking earlier. And maybe if they could land a Trevor Lawrence, I mean, that is the absolute dream for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's going to be probably the best prospect out of college in a very long time, which is shocking to say with how good Burrow was this past year. But one of Trevor Lawrence's only losses as a college player happened in the national championship, and that's the only one. And he had to play the best offense in college football history. So we'll see what happens. I think this is a good starting point for the Jaguars. Maybe they trade Fournette and get more 2021 picks. And yeah, I think it could be an interesting development. You just got to stay patient with being Jags fans. The Eagles are on the clock, and this is where everyone and their sister had a wide receiver going. And I think that the city of Philadelphia would riot if they do not take a wide receiver. Obviously, for me personally, I had Justin Jefferson going here. He's my favorite wide receiver right now. Between T. Higgins, Jalen Reagor, Ayuk, Shenault, Mims, all are exceptional athletes. So it's hard to make a bad pick here.
It's not. I don't think that they go wide receiver. I don't think that they should. I think Lamb and Judy and Ruggs are off the board. There's definitely a tier break out of those three. They got to go Kenneth Murray, linebacker, Oklahoma, unbelievable character, is what this team needs in the locker room. This guy was a day one starter at Oklahoma as a 17-year-old. He is an NFL-ready player with an unbelievable character that we can attest to when he comes to light. But I think Kenneth Murray here would be an outstanding pick.
Pick is in for the Eagles.
They absolutely
Vikings
whiffed.
are on the clock.
The Eagles whiffed on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside last year. It was around this pick again, I believe. So for them to do it again at maybe they just want to wait at wide receiver if the studs are gone. So I think that's a good pick. I think maybe, I wouldn't mind him for the Vikings there. Kenneth Murray for the Vikings, Mack. That would be a nice little treat for us. Hey. Oh, he's on the phone. He's on the phone. Yes, sir. He's talking to the coach. We see it. He was picked.
He looks happy, kind of.
Justin Jefferson. He was picked.
Oh, yeah.
We see him talking. Oh, yeah. Look. Oh, they're giving away Justin Jefferson to the Eagles. Great analysis, Mac, but you're wrong. Vikings
This
could
draft
use
is a
Kenneth
joke.
Murray. I would
An absolute joke.
You wanted him.
Mac is not happy.
Just give me 2 seconds here while I remove the Justin Jefferson Green Bay jersey from my cart.
Oh no!
Maybe that's the Vikings just getting ahead and really getting on the phone with him.
Yeah, they ruined that, I believe, in my opinion, with the unless the Vikings are on the clock and call them.
They are on the clock.
So
The Vikings are on the clock. So that's why I'm just saying. You
possible.
just say it.
It's possible.
All you saw was him on a phone call with someone.
Please. If there is a fantasy god, please don't do
There's
this
not.
to me.
You are getting screwed one way or the other. It's going to be the Eagles or the Vikings. Which
No,
do
he
you?
was on the phone with Matt LaFleur, and he said, "Look, we're trading up to get you." All right.
I don't know if you guys saw Doug Peterson with his phone there, but like noticeably struggling. I don't know how much he should be in charge of these hot seats.
I was trying to send a
saw it on
gift.
Twitter. It's Jalen Reagor. I think get it ready.
Whoa!
Jalen
Reagor.
Eagles. Wow. Yep. Jalen Reagor. That's huge. He wasn't. Here, I can.
Wow.
Jalen Reagor, that is big. That is a jump up the board. He did not run as fast at the combine as we expected, but he was always going to be a first round talent.
Thank you, Justin Jefferson. Come on, baby.
There is an opportunity for the Packers to take the slot standout, Justin Jefferson. However, he has to go through the Vikings. This will be very, very interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. This is what we signed up for.
Man, I miss this adrenaline of stuff being real.
This is it. This is real.
So sick of mock drafts.
The Vikings traded away Stephon Diggs to the Bills.
Yup.
And got this pick in return. And who are they going to pick?
I just want them to take a young wide receiver that is going to be so much fun to watch across from Adam Thielen. I want it.
Now they are like Adam Thielen is
so many holes to
a
fill,
slot wide receiver, and so is Justin Jefferson. So it's going to be there's no one really to push downfield for them. So that's why maybe a bigger body Denzel Mims could be a pick. Maybe Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State, a guy that I didn't like to start the draft, but is a.
Alex is asking if we think Diggs was worth a first round pick.
I think Diggs, as he is like a wide receiver talent, he was worth a first round pick. He's one of the best in the league. He wasn't getting.
I'll be at a later first round pick.
Yeah, for sure he is. They got a first and a second, right, and a seventh or something like that.
Yeah, they netted 3 picks.
So I'm happy. Like,
we're down in 4 minutes here. We're down in 4 minutes on the clock. The Vikings have a ton of holes. That's the reality of the situation.
I would be okay with Kenneth Murray. Like, I would be okay if they take a linebacker. They could use a better defense as well.
Well, and also, they have no depth at safety. They've parted with Xavier Rhodes. Like they have so many holes to fill, but just at this point, with Diggs having been shipped out, it would just be almost poetic to get, a fantastic young wide receiver to really be the future for them.
Definitely.
But when you are talking about the Vikings, we have to remember that they've waved goodbye to Diggs. Everson Griffin moved on. Anthony Harris could walk in 1 year if they're not able to lock him up long term, or if they don't tag him. Like, there is a lot of holes to be filled here. So there's a case to be made for a lot of picks here, and I won't be crushed if they don't go with a sexy wide receiver. And they do pick again in 3 picks. But I would just love to get a wide receiver. Just the
to
Madden
speak
player
it into existence, it's going to be Brandon Ayuk. Stay away from Jefferson. That's my boy. Stay away from him.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
The Madden player in me wants a shiny new toy on offense, so I'm hoping they go wide receiver.
So the pick is in for the Vikings, and the Pats are trading away their pick to the Chargers. Just as a heads up, Mackenzie, I got the notification from Twitter. So this is exciting. So the Pats trade back and the Chargers trade back in. What would the Chargers be looking for?
They got a lot. They got a lot of holes still.
Yeah. So if there's an offensive tackle they really like, they could. Yeah. They didn't think Love was going to be there at this point, so
they're trading Justin Herbert. They're having draft regret. They are trying to acquire Jordan Love and get some compensation back.
Yeah. Alexander Smith, if you're still watching, who are you a fan of? What's your favorite team, man? I need to get to know you. Are you the good golfer that Mackenzie or that Mark plays with? We got lots in common, I think.
Wait, are you saying that you're a good golfer?
Had
to. Sorry.
Ew.
Had to.
Dang.
Boom. Roasted.
Boom. Roasted. All right. I see you. Yep. I'd be good with. So, Scotty, give me your wish list here. Top 3, starting with the Vikings here. Number 1, is it got to be Justin Jefferson?
I mean, the Madden player in me just has to say yes.
No, it's the fan. I don't care about your Madden player.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. I want the sexy toy to play with on offense. It would be fun as a fan. It would be exciting. It also makes some sense because Thielen is an older wide receiver. So at a certain point, they're gonna have to get a young threat. So yes, I would love that. And Mack would
number two. If they don't take him, who else do you want? Do you want Kenneth Murray or Xavier McKinney, or who are you who's your favorite defensive player still available that you've heard us talk about or seen on the broadcast?
I mean, McKinney would make sense. I mean, we do need help. If we could pick up a sweet corner, the problem is there's not many left.
Yeah, Christian Holton. Gladney.
I mean, it's interesting because we have not necessarily back-to-back picks, but pretty close.
Yeah, one of them is going to be a corner or defensive player.
One maybe of both. This would I'd be in a different headspace if it was just the 22nd and then we had to wait for our whole turn. That's why if they're gonna go for a receiver, I'd almost rather they do it now and get their guy, and then fill one of the many glaring holes we have on defense. Because you name it. Safety,
can I interject here, Scotty, though? Yep. The Chargers are not taking wide receiver, and neither are the Saints. There's no reason for those two teams to go.
Some mock drafts I've been looking at have the Saints actually grabbing a wide receiver.
There's no way that they're going to take him if Jordan Love. The Patriots could have potentially taken Jordan Love. Now they're out of the running, and there's no way that the Chargers are going to take him because they already took Herbert. So it makes total sense that now the Saints are going to take Jordan Love, get that heir apparent to Drew Brees, and I think they can get I think they can get that wide receiver at the 25th pick and not now. I think it'd be a mistake to go wide receiver here because one of the two teams isn't taking wide receiver, and I don't think there's a huge difference at this point between a Justin Jefferson and an Ayuk or a Mims.
We're gonna see, and we're gonna send Ryan Temps off. Thanks for sticking with us for over 2 hours. Go Niners.
Justin Jefferson. Let's go.
Oh, can I pre-order that 2021 or what?
Let's go.
Let's go. Yes.
Let's go.
Oh, man.
Justin Jefferson. We did the graphic. We called it. Justin Jefferson to the Vikings. We love it. Check our Instagram. There's proof. Yes, this is a good thing for the Vikings. It replaces that Stephon Diggs. You got a younger version, elite wide receiver. Super good for that team. Should be a lot of fun to watch. We got the young stud. We haven't had a good young stud since I guess Stephon Diggs. So we get this guy locked in. The Chargers are on the clock now, which is a lot of fun. We got a trade. So yeah, this is wicked. I love Jefferson. He ran a lot faster than I expected at the draft. He's one of my favorite guys. Love it.
I think that's my new number 2 in these rookie wide receivers.
100%. Justin Jefferson is. I mean, man, look at this kid's numbers last year: 18 touchdowns, 111 receptions, and 1,540 yards. Not only that was he super productive in a great offense, LSU with Joe Burrow. This kid can run some dirty routes. He is fantastic. Creates separation, can do it on his own. Doesn't need to exploit his own. He can burn guys in man coverage. So there's a reason I was high on this guy. I think he's going to be really great and will fit this Diggs role extremely well because he's, I think, in my opinion, more versatile for sure.
Hey, I love it. Scotty, live reaction.
I love the way the narrative for this has played out. I was sad to see Diggs go because of the memories that he brought, but I said he didn't want to be there. And he's a fiery dude that if he doesn't want to be there, get the draft pick, go and get a guy who's going to be just ecstatic to be in the NFL and dripping with talent. And that's just kind of the poetry of why I wanted them to take a wide receiver with this pick. You move on, you evolve. He's now with Buffalo, and we have this Lamborghini of a draft pick that's going to be just so much fun to watch. And I can't wait to see Kirk Cousins out there even practicing with him. Oh, this is going to be a fun ride. I wonder what we'll do in 3 picks.
I'm going to have, traded my Diggs jersey for a Jefferson jersey, and I'm excited to do that.
I believe Mark made a tutorial about that in our last video. If you have any duct tape handy, so I can drop the link to that.
And in the unemployment life, I can't really afford another jersey.
As a Packers fan, I cannot support this Justin Jefferson business any longer. But I'm super jealous that you get to purchase yourself a shiny new J. Jaffs jersey. Man.
We should make a bet this year, and the loser or the winner gets a jersey.
Oh, man.
I can't wait to unleash this dude on Madden. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Hey, so here's the question. Who did the Chargers trade up for here? They are on the clock. They got – I should put this up on the screen, though. We do have a trade, like Landon announced. The Chargers moving up to trade with the Patriots.
Second and a third for their first.
So that's certainly interesting. Yeah.
Whew. Interesting. Not a huge price for this pick, in my opinion.
Who could they potentially be getting? That is the question here.
Murray, maybe.
The Patriots traded their second round pick to the Falcons for that wide receivers, so that's why they maybe needed more picks, I guess.
Come on, Kenneth Murray to the Chargers, right here.
Who were you thinking, Mark?
Kenneth Murray. I think talent-wise, there's no reason he should still be undrafted.
Who's their safety right now? And
Derwin James?
he's corner, isn't he? Or
Is
is
he?
he safety? Either way, I guess Xavier McKinney would be a little bit redundant, maybe. They got Herbert in the first, and we're waiting. Yeah, thanks, Eric. I saw the Sanu. Oh, Elric. Elric's in the chat, but man, thank you. Make sure to like that. We got Justin Jefferson. Your Chargers are on the clock again, right? You're a Chargers fan.
There we go.
Let me know what you think about Herbert.
What a slick graphic. That is what I like to see.
Kenneth Murray, you called it there, Marky.
Yep, chalk it up for Mark. You called it.
Yep. I think this was about time. We've been talking about him for a long time. Super talented linebacker. It's about time he came off the board. So, and I think, that's a great pick. That's a great golf course. Sweet. Yeah, it's gone pretty according to plan. The Saints. Now, Mackenzie, do you believe my narrative? They're going to pick Jordan Love with this pick, or are they going to go defense or O-line, something like that?
I certainly hope they take him. That's again, I don't want the Packers to move on from Rodgers or plan for another quarterback just as of yet. So I think this makes a lot of sense for the Saints. And I mean, Drew Brees, like you said, he was ready to retire last year, got convinced to stay. I think this is a really good move for them. I'd love it. For obviously for my bias of the Packers, but for them,
you don't want your Packers to take.
Can't have it.
No,
you
don't want that to happen. That's fair.
Again, I don't mind him. Like I'm not against him, but at the same time, I certainly don't want them to move on just yet.
So far, whoever's still watching, what is your favorite pick in this NFL draft? Regardless of your favorite team, which one are you like, man, that makes the most sense? And I guess there's not a whole lot of wide receiving and offensive options. We have a lot of O linemen, D linemen going in. So let me know, guys. Yeah, but Elric, I don't love the Herbert. Hopefully he's not what we all think. Hopefully he's good for that team to replace Rivers. But I do like Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to talk about Kenneth Murray real quick. I mean, I alluded to his story.
Sure, yeah.
I'm playing the player story narrative tonight, and that's what I'm doing. But yeah, Kenneth Murray, day one starter here at 17 years of age, and has two special needs siblings who he's like highly involved with, a big piece in their lives, and I think that just speaks to his character. I think he's a pretty special guy.
Yeah, sounds like it. I think it's been. I'm glad the kid got a first round pick. That's awesome. I want to see the Chargers succeed. They've had a lot of struggles. They're one of our favorite teams to watch, and having Rivers as slinger for that team, they should have made it further in the playoffs. But obviously, it did not work out that way. But I'd like to see them keep going, see them succeed. I don't mind the Chargers, and they got 6 new uniforms. So Easy's commenting and saying CeeDee Lamb just for the entertainment. He saw our reactions. Even though Mackenzie's not on camera, he could visualize the green face when he bad as Justin Jefferson going to the Vikings. Which pick do you hate more, Mackenzie? The CD pick or the Jefferson pick?
I hate the Cowboys above all else, but the fact that we were so close to Justin Jefferson and just sat there and watched once again, it's just typical Green Bay fashion. So Justin Jefferson hurts for me personally, but I just, for fantasy purposes, I hate CeeDee Lamb going to the Cowboys. It's just no fun.
That was also Easy's favorite reaction. He says CeeDee Lamb just for the entertainment of everyone's reaction.
Just said that, Scotty.
Oh, all right. We've been going for like 3 hours. What do you want?
Scotty, besides Justin Jefferson, what's your favorite pick? Are you a CeeDee Lamb fan? What are your thoughts on him? Are you going to take him?
What? Like, I actually don't hate the pick from it's very Dallas. I don't know. It's very Catholic. It's the way they roll. And I don't know. It's going to be entertaining in Big D. You know, they're all games in the big. Like, I don't think they're going to be better with him, hilariously. I think I honestly do think when he said they'll find a way to miss the playoffs, I still think they'll probably find a way to miss the playoffs. But they're staying on brand. I thought it was a fun pick because that's the way they are. They're brash. They're unabrasive. They do things that people don't don't think are going to work out. And then it's actually kind of funny when they don't work out. So sure, why not? I mean, you couldn't pick a bigger market. It's one of the biggest markets in the world, Dallas Cowboys, right? So if you're going to have that much talent, put them on prime time, put them with the Cowboys, and see what happens.
Maybe they
definitely
it would make sense if they traded away.
Go to if you ended up somehow, say he did go to. There's so many other small market teams that I don't know. There are worse landing spots if you're not, from an enjoyment of talent perspective. I mean, it sucks for fantasy in the current situation, but that could change come the actual start of the fantasy season. We'll have to see.
Mackenzie.
Yes, Landon.
What direction do you want your Green Bay Packers to go?
Not Jordan Love.
Okay. Not quarterback.
No, not quarterback.
Do you want them to take a stud defensive player at this point now, or are you hoping that?
I mean, to be quite honest, I'm still pretty fired up about Denzel Mims or Brandon Ayuk. I think those guys would be great additions to the team if they wanted to go wide receiver. That offensive line needs some help too. But outside of Josh Jones, there's not a whole lot left that I'm thrilled about. We could go cornerback as well with Christian Fulton or Xavier McKinney just because Josh Jackson hasn't panned out like we'd hoped that he would. But, I don't know. It's a tough situation. There's still so much that could happen in the next 5 or 6 picks before it gets to us that my tune could definitely change once the
for sure. There's still quite a few picks.
Just take
Any
Jordan Love.
flyers
That's a
on
great pick.
Any flyers on what the Saints are doing here?
Jordan Love.
You're saying Love.
That would be awesome.
I'm saying Love.
Okay.
Love's the heir apparent.
Fire little sneakers on.
He seems like he'd be a fun dude to spend an evening with in New Orleans. He probably knows all the hot spots. Look at those kicks.
The depths, the dirty New Orleans.
I don't have anything that cool, and I'm half his age.
True. It's true. You're so vanilla, Scott.
The most vanilla.
Mack used to have some nice sneakers.
I don't know. The picture you sent us today with those sweet frosted tips looked like you probably had some awesome kicks in that picture too.
True.
Oh, absolutely.
Cesar Ruiz. Seleccionado.
First center off the board. He's sobbing like.
All right, Alex Smith.
Center?
Looks like he is signing off.
What?
Thanks for sticking with us for 3 hours, buddy.
Easy. Appreciate it.
See you, bud.
Alex. Yeah.
We got a center out of Michigan.
Yeah, appreciate it. Come by, appreciate it, man, and we'll definitely get out once this whole quarantine thing is over.
Yeah, keep it real, Dags. We'll have a social distance beer one of these days, but
definitely.
So no heir apparent for Drew Brees just yet.
Yeah, he's got a good story, it looks like. His Caesar passed and looks like a car accident when he was young.
You got to think for a young man, anyone going on to that Saints organization is in for a good ride. So I'm just happy for this guy.
Totally.
Yeah, he's getting emotional over the pick, and
they got the best center in the league. I think that's great for the Saints organization. It's surprising. Obviously, they want to try to win now and replace their center position. And not an exciting pick, but definitely something that makes sense on paper, I suppose, you know?
They don't really screw up much in New Orleans.
No, they really don't, do they?
Not very often.
I mean, and we're talking about a team that just doesn't have too many holes. Like, what are their actual needs here? It was tough to come up with weaknesses, needs for this team. Like, they're just so solid.
Like, you would have, defense, some linebacker positions, and maybe they would have taken a Kenneth Murray if he was still available.
That's what I heard. I've been hearing that Demario Davis is kind of losing a bit of speed, and that he was fantastic last season, but they were saying, possibly if he was on the board, or even like Queen, grab a linebacker and try and grandfather him into their scheme. But certainly right. It's there's not much left there for them to be worrying about right now, but that's a good first pick.
Definitely.
All right.
The Vikings back on the board.
Back on the clock.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'd like to see them go. I'd like to see them go D on this with this pick. I mean, they had so many key departures from that defense, and it's I think they're gearing up to have that power offense, run first offense, which relies on a strong D. You can't really do a run based offense if your D can't shut down the opponents. So. I'd love to see a corner picked here. So maybe Christian Fulton, somebody like that.
Yep. I like that a lot.
Edge rusher would also not be but there are so many holes on this D that need to be filled. A safety would work. Really,
I'd love Xavier McKinney, Antoine Winfield. He played in Minnesota already.
Yep. Either of those two. It's
can we get that Xavier connection with him learning under Rhodes?
Rhodes is gone, man.
Oh, where'd he go?
Trade alert! Trade alert!
They released
trade alert.
Oh boy!
Vikings trade the pick.
Hey, they got their guy. So
to the Niners.
There you go.
Now they're going to take a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Sorry, I missed that. What was that?
Niners are taking Mims.
Niners.
Yeah, Vikings are trading. I had a feeling they'd get their receiver, they got their guy, and then after that, there's so many holes to fill that if you can get an extra.
So the Niners had obviously the last pick in the draft, or the second last pick in the draft. Is that they must have got that? 31 and 2 second-round picks, or third-round picks.
Adam Schefter's trying.
I'm saying. I'm going to say T. Higgins here.
You're going T. Higgins.
That would certainly be interesting.
Mack, what do you think? I know, trying to be unbiased. Do you think they go Mims? That's our number one rated wide receiver off the board right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they missed out on wide receiver the first time around, so it makes sense that's what I would hope they would do, but you just don't know. You really don't.
Yeah. Whoever they pick could sneak into our top 3 or 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, no, you feel like with this move, you feel like they're going for a wide receiver. Because I think like Mack said, if say they get to a team like the Packers, I feel like they need teams that need wide receivers coming up long before them.
They're jumping the pack.
But you know what? As a Vikings fan, I'm also very okay with this trade because, as I highlighted again and again, we have so many holes to fill on D. You need multiple picks. So I'm actually I'm psyched that we got a brand name guy that I was really excited about the prospects of, and I'm really happy. Oh, pick is in.
Brandon Ayuk to the Niners. Arizona State wide receiver.
Mackenzie, one less on the board for you.
One less on the board. No. So yeah, I mean, a definite deep threat for Ayuk. He's big. Let me see. Let me get his stats here up real quick so I can help you guys out if you don't know about Brandon Ayuk. Big, yeah, I can see, I guess, on the screen. 81-inch wingspan. Massive guy.
They got their guy.
Excellent burst score, 92nd percentile, 6 feet, 205 pounds, 22 years old. Had an excellent college dominator of 40%, which is 82nd percentile. Yards per reception. This is why he's a deep threat. He had averaged 18.3 yards per reception in college. So this guy is what the Niners needed when they lost Emmanuel Sanders. So I think this is a smart play. Also would have been great for the Packers, but they don't like to move up. And
from a fantasy perspective here,
yep,
we were saying whatever receiver lands in San Francisco instantly is going up our board. I don't think that changes anything. What do you think?
He definitely rises a bit. He reminds me of kind of where Deebo Samuel went last year, early second round in drafts, and a guy that will also be there again in the early second pick. So I think that there's so much upside with a guy like this.
Absolutely.
Now, Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw a lot. Like, they run the ball a ton. They had a 3-headed monster there last year. So there's not a ton of volume, but obviously the Niners got their guy. They traded up. They've got a really good 1-2 punch at wide receiver with Debo and Ayuk. And obviously you have to be honest with Kittle. Like, that guy is still young. And, they've got an elite receiving core. It's young. It's versatile. They can do it all. And it's possible that the Niners draft a good running back in the second round. I mean, I guess they traded some picks away, but maybe they get a guy like Keyshawn Vaughn who can do it all and be the bell cow eventually. It's hard to predict right now. Maybe they stick with the Tevin Coleman mix and mash of guys that they have, the undrafted guys. It should be interesting. They got their guy. One more stud wide receiver off the board for Mackenzie's team. He's gonna be so mad if they don't even take a wide receiver now. So you got T. Higgins, Chenault, and Denzel Mims available for you. After that, it is a definite drop with guys like Chase Claypool, KJ Hamler, Brian Edwards, Tyler Johnson, Michael
Mack. As it stands now, what are your rankings? 3 of remaining wide receivers.
I just don't care.
Oh.
This is the song of a sad Mackenzie.
Yeah, I hate to see that. I could feel the sadness through my headset. We love you, Matt.
All right, so the Dolphins are on the clock right now. This is where Mackenzie had a running back going. They could go running back with the 26th overall pick. And Scotty, what is your number 1 rated running back in this class?
Oh, man. Well, we knew that the running back field for this was going to be kind of the weakest section. Let me see though. There was one I was actually looking at that I thought if Minnesota really wanted to stock up. 1 second here. Let me bring up mine. Oh my god. Ah. I was staring at him all day. Where is he?
Like DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cam Akers.
Akers, actually.
Oh, Cam Akers, yeah. So I love Cam Akers, Florida State guy. Love him a lot, but he's definitely not the best rated running back.
No.
Overall pick.
No, I found him interesting. I obviously, my own personal selfish needs, I knew the Vikings there was no way in heck they were going running back, but I still found him interesting to read about.
Totally.
So
he's great. But okay, Mark, who's your favorite running back that you have rated if the Dolphins do indeed decide to go with running back?
I don't think they're going to, but I think of the class this year, probably Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, he's my favorite off the board right now, but it would definitely hurt my perception of him if he goes to the Dolphins. So I think it also would be difficult with DeAndre Swift as well. But he's more of a pass catcher, can do it all, but might have a harder time with that O-line being so weak potentially in Florida. So
well, I mean, there's a lot more to be excited about just after tonight for the Dolphins. So, definitely. Lando, I know you're the type of guy who loves young talent and, turnaround type stories. And I bet you partway through this season, you're going to be that guy trading for, your Albert Wilson, or you're going to be going out for like whoever or even for Tua. I wouldn't be surprised if you drafted.
Green Bay traded up?
No way.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
You gotta be kidding me.
Who they going?
You gotta be kidding me.
They traded up, but it was too late. Why did they trade up?
Mack, who are they targeting?
I don't even know.
Wow.
Patrick Queen.
Shut up.
It might.
Don't even do that.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the first. Oh, did they trade up for Jordan Love? That would be incredible.
I'll lose my goddamn mind. I will shut this stream down. It will be night.
Oh no! Night. Did they trade up for Jordan Love?
It will be night right now. Mark my words. If this is Jordan Love, I'm turning the stream off. I'm going to bed.
He looks happy. He's getting video He's getting video by his.
Why are they? No.
Don't do it.
Did they?
Don't.
Who wants to see an iMac get launched off a desk?
Of all these teams, who's gonna take a quarterback? Is it gonna be the Texans? Like why would they trade up for Jordan Love if they do that? Or do they take Denzel Mims?
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, this couldn't be written better for this.
Who are in this moment? Who are you hoping they declare? Who are you hoping the name? What name do you want to see flash here?
I don't think they're gonna trade up for wide receiver.
Just give me Denzel Mims, please, or T. Higgins. Like I don't even care. Just give me one of the two. Anybody else, this stream is getting shut down.
Goodness.
Well, let us say that just in case.
Thank you for everybody who came.
Thank you for joining us. Just in case Mackenzie flips his computer off his desk.
Say your goodbyes now. Preemptive goodbyes.
Screen fades to black.
Make sure to like, subscribe. We're on socials at snap_fantasy. It's been a pleasure tonight.
The kick is in, and the fate of our live stream hangs in the balance.
They took him. They took Jordan Love.